So the thing is,
Yes.
is that whenever you're making a sandwich, you always gotta like toast the bread first, Ryan. That's what you gotta do.
Yes.
Because
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, when you bite into the bread, you need to feel the crunch behind it. So it gives like a little bit more satisfaction whenever you do it that way.
You don't need to tell me. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, whenever it's soft, it gets in your
sandwiches.
teeth. You gotta get your long fingernails. You gotta pick the bread out of your teeth.
No, I love fucking toasting the bread on a sandwich. It that and hamburgers as well. If you butter up the skillet and then you put the bun like face down on the skillet and let it get like that nice golden brown color where it smells real good. And then maybe put like some garlic, some aromatics in it so it like gets into the bread. That makes it even better.
Yeah, not all sandwiches need to have a toasted bread. I mean, I'm fine with eating hamburgers without toasted buns.
But it's better when you have a toasted bun.
Same thing with hot dogs.
I actually
the hot dog and tortilla.
I actually don't really toast like a hot dog bun all that much because like it's
there
I don't. My family always buys like really cheap hot dog rolls, so like they're really flimsy. If you try to like open them up to fry them on a skillet, then they're gonna tear down the middle, and then your hot dog's gonna be a mess.
There we go.
This is how we're opening the Nuwisha video, by the way.
There we go. We've got myself. You know who I am by this point. I'm the asshole who runs this channel. You got Kyle, who's the guy who records it. You got Ryan, and then we got Danston is back.
Welcome back, Danston.
Hello.
We've got an actual Nuwisha in the studio with us today.
Yes, he's here to play the epic funny joke on us. So, Mr. Nuwisha, what is the epic funny joke?
The epic joke is that he's going to leak our address. See. So
I mean, like, the idea of the joke is to actually teach a lesson. And if the lesson is to sign up to VPN, then I guess
Video sponsored by NordVPN.
That would have been a very good leeway. Would have been a very good leeway if we were endorsed by them.
Yeah, but even if they try to, we're not going to, because then we have to interrupt the show, and we don't want to do that.
If you want to stop Nuwisha and Korax from doxing you, well, this is the guy to go with.
Yeah, go to NordVPN. Oh.
Nuwisha aren't that very good in combat. But you know what is good with combat? Raid Shadow Legends.
God damn.
Oh my god. It's a plague. I can't avoid it. There was a time, but that was just everywhere.
Yeah.
If I was at my computer, I would be reading the copy pasta for Raid Shadow Legends right now.
Oh my good lord. Is there actually like a Reddit copy pasta for like the script for Raid Shadow Legends?
Yes, I've read it numerous times.
The Raid Shadow Legends creepypasta?
Yep.
Oh my god,
maybe not the creepypasta.
Creepypasta of it? Yes.
And fight for freedom.
See, I see Shani has posted a baked ZD in the chat.
A baked ZD.
Oh, it's her birthday today. Everybody give her a happy birthday.
Oh wait, in general.
Yep.
Oh.
If you see Ebony in the comments, it's her birthday today.
Happy birthday. There we go.
There we go. See, alright, you got a praying hands emoji too. There you go.
Yep. I'll jump on that.
Let's begin.
Yes.
We have the Nuwisha, the breed where nobody in universe can explain why these guys exist. Out of all the changing breeds to survive the War of Rage, why was it you? Why did you have to survive? We couldn't have had the Apis, but we got the Nuwisha. Is this some sort of cosmic joke we're dealing with? And it turns out, yes.
That is 100% what they are. They are just a big fucking joke. Your friends are dead,
and I'm still alive.
Remember those other changeling breeds that were like cool and good at combat and healing and shit? Yeah, you killed them all, so now you gotta live with us. You're annoying.
Remember the Were-Otters who might have been Puka, and then they just never revealed they were actually Puka, but the Fianna remember them. And
killed the were prey mantis. You killed the were pigs, all the cool ones. You killed the were bats. Killed the were bats, man.
They deserved it.
Were they worms?
No.
They deserved it. They didn't wash their hands after they tore a man's heart out of his chest and caused a blood-borne pathogen.
His heart shouldn't have been there in the first place.
You also had Huitzilopochtli in that land too. They didn't do anything about him. Spitting facts over here. And out of all the changing breeds, This one, funny enough, is the least geared towards combat. This is more of a social rule than anything else. If you're playing a Pharaoh game and you need a party face, so to speak, the Nuwisha are right up your alley. It's almost perfect with what they've got because so much of their stuff is entirely social, entirely support, or entirely combat.
Well, combat is kind of overrated anyway.
It's kind of like playing a Ventru in a vampire game, if that makes any sense.
Yes, you're good at talking to people. And
a very funny Ventru, yes.
Yeah. A Ventru stand-up comedian. Imagine that for your vampire game.
That'd honestly be pretty fucking tight, not gonna lie.
That would actually be a very tolerable Ventru if you actually think about it.
That'd be really funny.
Sound like Joey Diaz.
First man to ever smoke weed was a Chinese man, but he didn't smoke it. He inhaled it. He held it in his hand. And every time...
There's no sleeping, Joe. You know why? 8 cups of espresso a day.
I did cocaine for 35 years.
We got a fun little comic in this book, too.
Yes.
Go to what page is this? Page 8 in the PDF I sent you?
It is actually really fucking tight. Let me bring it over there.
Zoom in on that celebrating Nuwisha on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is fucking awesome, and I love it. It is this right here.
Let's see where the pages. Don't see it.
He looks so happy.
See,
we will dance, and you will die.
You already have a copy of it. Do you want me to send you another one, Dan?
Yeah, but you posted it. I just want to know what everybody else is looking at. So
it's the comic at the start of the book.
In the
but which page? Like,
the page where he's making like the portal on the train tracks.
Oh yes.
It's going. This is my land, fools. it's You might be noticing that we've already got some similarities between the Actena and the Wendigo and the Croatan. That's because this is the red-headed stepchild of the Pure Lands, the relative that none of them wanted to talk to, but he was there the entire time. The Nuwisha. Instead of, derailing the train and outright killing the worm people on the train, he instead wants to take it to a portal. He doesn't even know where the portal's going, but it leads him all the way to Malpheus, which is the last place you want to be by yourself.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm sure he has a plan.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a plan.
I'll figure something out.
Our writers for this book were James A. Moore, and Ethan Scamp was our developer.
There's one picture, though, that I think actually tops that Nuwisha. Hello?
Yes.
See, no, that was the bot. Just disconnected. Don't worry.
I think there's a better picture that tops the "This Is My Land" photo, and it's the one with it looks like it's he's a Nuwisha engineer, and it's on page 646.
Page
46.
Page 46. He just has a cartoonish kind of grin on him.
Yeah, I just blew up a man's car with him in it.
It looks like a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon. This is
exactly
awesome.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, even the art has this kind of cartoonish kind of vibe. I love it.
I guess you could say he's in for a hard landing.
That Looney Tunes episode with the gremlin in it, where they had the whole gremlin dispensing the plane that Bugs Bunny was going to fly.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There
Something
you go.
like that.
See, you gotta smash him with a hammer when you see him.
Yeah, he was trying to hit it. He was hitting a bomb with the hammer. That was the first scene of the show.
Sorry, folks, we ran out of gas.
That episode always scared me as a kid, and I don't know why.
Because you imagine, you had dreams of being in a plane crash after you saw it.
I think I did actually. But let's see. What I was looking at something. Oh yeah, I just want to point out on page 10, page 11 in the PDF. In the special thanks section, there is
that fucker.
Yes,
the fucker.
Justin, I am the internet at Chile, and I quote, for vociferously being one of the bad guys of the games industry.
Whenever he appears in a special thanks, it's always in relation to a snide remark like that or him drinking too much.
That's kind of fucking funny.
I'm beginning to think this guy was like Mick Lauer, who we were talking about in our live play, the guy was constantly drunk and eventually burnt all of his bridges with everybody.
Yeah.
I wonder why nobody talks with him anymore.
Yeah, and there's also fucking Tim Nail Through the Head Bird for cooking the niece for emotional effect, which is just fucking funny. And then there's... Oh my god, I love the special thanks section. Mike Zug Zug Tinny for going home just long enough to shower and change between Warcraft 2 campaigns, and Brian Dabu Glass for being just about as bad.
You see, they had fun with the White Wolf staff. They didn't really talk to each other that much, but the ones who did had plenty of fun.
Yes.
Yes.
And
there's like little subtle things like that also appear, like all the way to the end of when you get to the character sheet itself, like
the little
like right. If you look at the character sheet, like right at the very very top, you'll see that you have breed, totem, and pants?
$200 in the gambler.
I spent $200 on these pants.
Yep.
You can't afford these pants.
Pants, certainly.
Pants, damn the pants, or they'll say shit like infrequently.
Yes, I see him frequently. That one's fucking good.
Yeah,
pants certainly.
Yeah, and you see the guy like the scrapper, like the guy who like snapped a hoe in half and he's gonna stab you with the wooden stakes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's your combat build for the Nuwisha, and even then, that's not that strong in comparison because we know what a Coyote is by this point. We all know what that looks like.
Sorry, I had a stakeout.
Yep.
Oh,
we're all
the proper term for a coyote in internet speak is a skrunkly. They are skrunkly.
It's a wolf but small. And there's that whole video of like the guy in Canada who's got the coyote following him, and it bites his boots and realizes it can't kill him.
Yeah, I always thought that video was really funny.
And they've got a YouTube channel, Timmy MC, who managed to find a coyote out in the woods and slowly domesticated it. And now it's got this like pet coyote, and the coyote is like mean at times, but it's more like a very large chihuahua, so to speak.
Also, I would like to note on page 66, underneath the scrapper concept, stuff takes no aggravated damage from silver.
There you go.
What the fuck is that about?
There you go. Oh, we're going to get to it. We can finally start the history.
Yes, history time.
So this book begins with, I am Alfarius, this everything I say is a lie. Of course, paraphrasing, of course, but to me, this carries the same level of legitimacy and validation as the Alpha Legion does in Warhammer 40k, where the Primarch novel of Alfarius begins something along the lines of, my name is Alfarius, everything I say is a lie, including this sentence. And the Nuwisha being the tricksters of the Garou, you gotta take everything I'm about to say with like a gigantic pile of salt. And it's up to you, the viewer, to decide how much of this is true and how much of this is complete bullshit. We begin.
Yes.
How the world came to be. Apparently, Coyote was Adam. Just before there was any life on the planet, there was only Coyote.
I'm calling it right now. True. That's bullshit.
It is thoroughly true. It is thoroughly true.
Yeah.
Totally true.
And Coyote named all the animals and said, I really wish I had a wife, so God reached down, took Coyote's rib, and made Coyote, and then the two proceeded to make Cain and Abel.
No, that's not how it happened.
And that's how Vampire the Masquerade starts.
Yep. So every Canaanite is actually Nuwisha kinfolk.
Yeah, there you have it.
Also, Coyote caused the deluge.
You thought we were dropping bombshells with the Ravnos episode, where here we go with the Coyotes.
See, look, I originally thought that the Koraks were the most based, as a Koraks appreciator myself. No, the Nuwisha are just fucking hilarious.
They're taking a piss with this entire section.
I know, I'm on board.
So, what the actual thing is, like, they still say Coyote was Adam, who lived in the sky. The guy just like hung out in the sky all day in the stars. And he got bored, and he made ducks for a living. Like, the duck animal was created by a coyote.
Well, technically, he made water, then the ducks.
Yeah. He made water first, and then the ducks, and then he dropped the duck into the water and found out it floated. And then he decided he was going to listen to the water every night. And he's a big guy. He likes ASMR videos. He listens to beach sounds every night before he goes to sleep.
It helps him fall asleep.
And
then suddenly he goes, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just create the Earth.
So it's not the Wild who does it. It's not Gaia who does it. Coyote just takes his big hand, reaches under the ocean, and pulls up a bunch of land and says, "This is cool," and then does it a few more times. And then all the other animals in the sky want to come down and live on the land. And what does that do to Luna?
It makes her sad because
Yeah, she gets
all the friends that were hanging up on her surface have left. They've joined the cool party.
And Coyote says, "Well, that's okay because I'm your roommate now, and I'm going to be your roommate forever." And proceeds to forcibly move into Luna's realm, where he is to this day, like in the sky and the stars. And he says, in order to sweeten the deal, all of my Coyote my Nuwisha, will sing to you every night, as a means of saying thanks for letting me move into your house. And Luna says, "I'm not okay with any of this." And Coyote says, "No, it's fine. It's going to work out."
And well, it was kind of more of a thing of like, I mean, that's nice and all, but I'm still upset about it, kind of thing.
Nuwisha just seems like a fucking just a dickhead roommate who like drinks all your beer, eats the food you were going to make for lunch tomorrow, and then doesn't pay rent. He's like, no. Look, my friends are going to come over. It's going to be a good time. Don't worry about it.
Look, here's the thing. It's not his fault that his party was much more fun than hers. And when she got upset and complained, then Coyote was like, "Okay, fine, God. Here, now you have company." Now you have company.
He's like an abusive boyfriend to Luna.
You know what? What I imagine Cody sounds like Randall from Clerks. That's what I imagine he sounds like.
Don't try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot.
Yeah, like everybody's trying to work, and yet Cody's having like a phone call ordering like porn tapes in the middle of a fight.
That was fucking funny. I remember that fucking scene.
And everything is fine at first. And then humans are made. Apparently, Coyote also made humans. He also takes credit for that.
This is true. This is very true.
He says, "I'm going to make humans, and they're going to be smart. And, oh no, I made them too smart." This is going to blow up in my face. I have no contingency plan for this. And he starts flipping through, trying to figure out, well, how am I going to deal with all these smart humans?
Sorry, I just wanted to point out that, like, I don't know if you knew, but like I started seeing the words, it wasn't a bad thing, this was actually a good thing. It popped up more than once in the writing.
He said, it paid off in the end. Like, I knew what I was doing the entire time. I meant to make that mistake.
Yeah, the Nuwisha are literally those journalists who are like, good thing is bad, or bad thing is actually good.
I'm tired of the prejudice against self-diagnosis.
It's fucking
like it's also almost kind of written like exactly in that tone. This wasn't bad thing. This was good thing. It's almost like a green text.
So, Wolf comes up. The guy who is the progenitor of all the Garou. He says, "Well, if your humans try to do anything funny, I'll kill them." And Cody says, "Well, there we go. That solves the problem. If a human does something bad, you'll kill him for me." And then Cat says, "No, I want to be the one that deals with humans." And then Cody says, "Okay, good. You deal with humans when they come up." Then Shark says, "No, I want to be the guy." And then Bear says, "I want to be the guy." And then Raven, and then Rat, and then Lizard, and then Snake.
I like when Rat comes in. Rat just just looks around and is just all sneaky and like nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bite one's ankles, and then they're gonna start coughing on their friends, and then like 500 million of them are gonna die.
And lastly, Spider comes forward and says, "Hang on a minute, I've got an idea for this." We'll bring this up again when we do the Ananasi in the future. Spider says, this being the Weaver, or like the aspect of the Weaver, and says, "I am going to teach humans how to build houses, build roads, make farms, make metal, smith, how to have a government. I'm going to teach them all these good things, and they're going to be productive instead of destructive. And Cody says, well, that sounds like the smartest thing out of all of them. All of you guys just do whatever you want with the humans. I'm just going to watch how this plays out.
And my work here is done. My work here is done.
My work here is done, and then the worm shows up and says, hey, Coyote, can I have a few humans too?
By the way, you should emphasize it's not worm, but worm.
Yeah, with an O.
Yes.
Yeah. This is worm before the name change. And so worm with an O comes up and says, I would like a couple humans. Cody says, well, I just gave the last humans to the Weaver. And then Worm says, well, the Weaver doesn't like me. And I've tried having like a few talks with the Weaver before, and she just doesn't want to listen to what I have to say. The Weaver's an idiot. And I know more than the Weaver, but because the Weaver's so stupid, the Weaver won't listen to a thing I say. And Cody says, well, that sounds like a you problem. And then
that's
the worm
exactly what I was going to say. Why is that my problem?
That's a you problem, Worm. And then the Worm takes that personally. So it says, you know what, I'm going to talk to the Weaver right now. The Worm travels all the way over to the Weaver and says, I'd like some humans, please. And then the Weaver says, I'd be delighted to give you some humans. Take as many from my web as you can carry. And that's all you're getting. You just get that one. So the Worm goes into the web and starts scooping up all these different humans, like these like little human souls in the web. And then when the Worm tries to leave, realizes that he's stuck.
Like, no, some of them did drop, though, when he tried to sweep at them. Just to point that out. Though.
Yeah, a few of them dropped out, and it says acceptable losses. I can just get another one, like when it's like falls to the ground. And he's stuck in the web. And the Worm says, can I get a little help here? And the Weaver says, LOL, get binded, you schmuckhead.
And then he takes the ones that he dropped, and he makes them Nuwisha.
And there we go. And that's how it starts. And the Worm is looking over at Coyote saying, can you please help me? And Coyote says, eat a dick. You deserve this. I know the kind of stuff you do, like cosmic force of death, destruction, and corruption. You deserve what's coming to you. And like the Weaver and Coyote just laugh in the Worm's face, and the Worm is like crying his eyes out. And then they just both leave him to be bound in the web forever. And that's how that story ends.
And then it splits in 3 parts and starts killing everything it looks at.
Yeah, as it turns out, that was a really bad idea, and that's something that Cody regrets saying. The Worm got what was coming to him, but I wish I knew he was going to do that erratic shit beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, too late now, dumbass.
Let's see. Ryan, you got any thoughts right now?
This guy is fucked.
This fucking guy here.
Yep.
Yeah, a Coyote's full of shit.
Absolutely is.
He's just like, hey, nice, stinker.
Nah.
And so, all the Nuwisha start deciding they want to travel the world. It turns out, I kind of believe this because I don't think Gaia would have made a second trickster because that's what the corrects were. So I'm willing to believe that Nuwisha like willed his beings into existence, and that Gaia accidentally gave the changing seed to Coyote and then realized, oh shit, we got Nuwisha running around. No takebacks. So
no takesies backsies.
the Nuwisha at the moment are like the travelers or the explorers of Gaia, where they're going around exploring everything, and then they come back to Cody and say, hey, the world's too small. We just explored everything, and now we've got nothing to do. And so Cody thinks, I got an idea here. Like that trick I played on the Worm, your new job is to be teachers. You're going to go around, and you're going to do the School of Hard Knocks. You're going to teach everybody in a humiliating, shameful, but deeply humbling way of showing people what they're doing wrong or what they could do better. And then we shall proceed to become teachers. That's the very abridged version of that.
Yes.
I mean, like, the idea of being a teacher may have been Gaia's idea, but the method of teaching, that was probably Coyote's idea.
Yeah, we're going to take it. Like, we have the Nuwisha sitting around and we realize, oh, we got nothing for these guys to do. Let's tell them to do something before they join the worm, I guess. And in order to keep track with how many coyotes he sent around the world, Coyote splits himself into multiple pieces. You still have Coyote Prime, but you also got Team Malice, Loki, Raven, not the Corax Raven, this is an imposter, Ogma, Xochipilli, Chongquel, Ta, Pan, and Kishijoten. These are all Coyote under different personas, and he's impersonating other totems by doing this. So you may be thinking, in your werewolf game, you just took Raven as your totem. Is that actually Raven, or is that Coyote in disguise?
And the answer is sometimes he is, and sometimes he isn't.
You got a coin toss as to whether or not you've been duped by Coyote this entire time.
Might be a good idea to double check Jaden. Just saying.
Have we been traveling? Have we been traveling with the Nuwisha this entire time?
Yeah, we might want to warn Ragnar about, or not Ragnar, Reynard about that.
Yes, let's warn Ragnar.
He's been off screen for a while, so when he comes back, we're going to have to make sure: are you actually a coyote in disguise?
It'd be funny as shit. Like fucking Reynard's about to step up and fight one of the taking care of business crowd, and it turns out, oh no, he's a coyote the whole time. He wasn't actually Reynard. Reynard's chained up in a basement in the New York admin.
Yeah.
Well, so I think in the Get a Fenris video, you guys didn't you say that you guys are going to talk into more detail about Loki?
Yes.
And the spirit of Loki.
And,
yeah, I guess we'll get to that when we get there. But I mean,
yeah, it's like a chicken and egg situation with Loki, where did Loki, the face of the Nuwisha, come first, or did Loki, the Ragabash, come first, and then Coyote took that identity from Loki, seeing that, well, given the massive long game that Loki pulled off, where he turned what would have been a one-on-one war into a 5-army brawl, did Coyote decide, in honor of you in particular, I'm going to name one of my aspects after you? And
well, I guess you could say that that Loki is actually low-key Coyote.
It could be that too. Because,
I like it.
Because maybe the Loki from the Gaia Fenris story wasn't a Garou at all, and it was actually just a Nuwisha that nobody recognized. They thought he had the runt and menace deformity the entire time.
Yeah, it could be that.
So it kind of recontextualizes Gaia Fenris history when you look at that.
So, but this is one of those things. Is like you can't trust the Nuwisha at their word. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Hey, as long as you're willing to listen, and as long as you're willing to actually be taught, I'm pretty sure you can trust what they say. Because that's all they want to do. They just want to teach you. That's all.
And this could raise a question with the Loki Smile camp with the Gaia Fenris. Would that actually be a camp of Gaia Fenris who directly work with the Nuwisha?
It's entirely possible, but then again, the fucking Get hate the Loki Smile because the Get, as we explained, are very honor bound. They hate turncoats. They dislike Ragabash with a passion.
Well, the Surfangs also steal people's fetishes, and the Shadow Lords deny the existence of the Society of Needhog. So,
yes,
unreliable narrator at work. And the lesson begins as we start seeing the Nuwisha look over, and you have the Garou doing the War of Rage, the Impergium. You've got this massive secret war going on between the Worm, who has changed his name from an O to a Y, and the Weaver. And they seem to have this secret war, the Weaver herself fighting the Tyrannic Worm, and humanity is just in the middle of it. So the Nuwisha are trying to do the best they can to try to protect humanity, but they're quickly realizing in the middle of it, maybe some of you were too stupid for us to save, and we should let you die instead. That's going to come up in the litany.
Yep, pretty much. Let the fool die fool.
And this extends to the Pure Lands, where the big example they give of this is the Pure Lands, which
they just call the land.
Yeah, the land. We had the Croatan, Wendigo, and Octina, and we were technically like the fourth brother. Well, we were more like a cousin. And we were there, and neither of them really liked us because we were always too smart. And we know what we're talking about all the time. And when the white men came over, we said, you're struggling with growing corn? Put some fish on it. You want to know where to fish? There you go. You want to know what kind of bait to put on the line? Here you go. You want to know how to forage? Okay, these are the berries that are safe. You want to build a house? Well, we got a good spot for you. And what did the white men do? They killed him. Great, right?
Yeah,
all that effort and all that
worked
kindness for
beautifully.
nothing.
Good job.
Great, and I guess this is also why the Wendigo tell the Nuwisha to eat a dick, because maybe if the Nuwisha weren't so nice, it would have taken a lot longer for colonization to take off. Maybe.
So wait, does that mean Squanto was a Nuwisha?
That's possible.
Okay.
And as this is going on, it kind of raises the question as to what the right answer would have been, where hindsight's always 20/20. Should the Nuwisha have come out guns blazing? And, I don't know, possibly told the Wendigo, the Croatan, and the Octina what they were doing at the time.
I mean, the Nuwisha aren't much for fighting, save for, like, the Scrappers, the followers of Loki. But, so yeah, they would have been better off just telling the Croatan and letting them deal with it.
Yeah, because if any of you just used the gift Sense Worm, you would have known something was up.
Once again, that one gift, using that would have saved so many lives.
As we learned with the Fianna doing that on the Silverfangs, that saved a lot of time.
Yep.
Yeah. And that also raises the question, like, if the Nuwisha did come out guns blazing, would that have made the eventual genocide of the First Nations worse if they did that?
Going back to the
here's the thing. It's not like if they came in guns blazing, they could have gotten their ass whooped. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Second thing
what were you saying, Ryan?
The fact that most of the werewolves get sense worm, it's kind of mind-blowing that they don't use it more often.
Yeah.
I accidentally muted myself as I was trying to say that.
Mostly because the Garou are so sure of themselves on what is and what is not a worm that they forget to use it.
In our Halloween special, you had Rap Red who was using Sense Worm at the start of every scene he went into.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, where is it? Let me kill it.
So, you were saying, Dan, about what the Nuwisha could have done?
I actually lost my train of thought. Sorry about that.
They could have come in guns blazing, and
they could, because they were too weak. And there was also something else that I was going to say, but I forgot. Yeah, but they would have gotten their ass whooped anyway. And it's not to say that maybe they actually were fighting back, but the way they were doing it was actually they didn't exactly anticipate. It didn't really anticipate the hit and run. Come and chase me, so I can fuck with you as you try and chase me. They're just wrecking the entire land as they're chasing them all the way to the other end to California.
It could have been a tactic of come and chase me. And then all the colonists say, well, fuck this, I'm not doing this, and just set the forest on fire that the Nuwisha's in.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
It's like, look at all this dead wood we can use for shelter now.
And then the Nuwisha just thought to themselves, you know what? This is going to piss off the Garou. Huh. The Garou just solved the problem themselves. My work here is done.
We'll just call the Garou to do it, and then, oh no, War of Rage Part 2, you had the Shellers who dropped the ball when it came to the War of Rage. And then the Gaia, Fenris, and Fianna just came in, saw, we're going to fight the worm. Oh, what's that? The British Empire, the Boston Tea Party, the stamp tax. They proceeded to drop everything in regards to fighting the worm, and instead fight the Revolutionary War, where, dog, we didn't call you to do that.
It's like, well, I don't know. The Fianna had a bit of a grudge against the Brits.
Exactly. If it comes to killing British people, the Fianna are all for it.
To quote Kyle Gordon, "Lloydy-doy-diddy-do, lloydy-doy-diddy-dee, kill a fucking Englishman and throw him in the sea."
Go ahead, call the British. They can't unbomb your car.
Good place to fund these.
So, while the Nuwisha are trying to figure out what to do, the Eater of Souls shows up. And the Nuwisha will see that and go, oh, it's over. It's over. The apocalypse is here. It's over. But the Croatans say, oh, there it is. It's what our entire destiny's been waiting for. And they proceed to do the Roanoke sacrifice, and then boom, no more Croatan. It feels bad, man.
Yeah, it does. So Nuwisha went from it's so Jover to it's so Jover.
And it made them sad because they actually really liked the Croatan. The Croatan may not have liked them, but they really liked the Croatan.
Yeah, because the Croatan were just like cool. Like, you look at the reports of every tribe that spoke with the Croatan, and not one werewolf tribe has anything bad to say about them.
Or has anything good to say about them?
Yeah, there's not even no. Everybody loves the Croatan.
Oh, yes, everybody likes the Croatan.
And it's not even like Mage the Ascension, where I'm riffing off of Mage the Podcast for a minute. They describe the relationship portions of those books as compliment sandwiches, where we say something nice, insult, and then something nice after that. That is the case with like a lot. Like you look, they pointed out with Mage the Ascension. I looked at Mage and I said, "Oh my god, every book does this, except for the Technocrat books because the Technocracy love each other." But nobody had anything bad to say about the Croatan. So yeah, feels bad because there goes everybody's best friend. And the start of darkness with the Wendigo and Actina, where the Wendigo, of course, become xenophobic isolationists, and the Actina become paranoid cryptophiles. And behold, both of those tribes are now debatably in decline. The Wendigo do have none of it, and the Actina have multiple solutions to the apocalypse, but neither of them have good relationships with anybody who isn't themselves.
Yes. Division is the enemy of success in the Garou Nation.
I mean,
so
even the Nuwisha fought against each other at one point, but that's been kind of settled nowadays.
And
that was,
speaking of
that
fighting,
was only during speaking of fighting,
genius move the Nuwisha do, where they decide that we're going to file a formal complaint to the Garou Nation about how badly they dropped the ball because their Croatan are dead.
Oh.
You don't want to say that to the Gaia, Fenris, and Shadow Lords.
Fuck, no, you don't.
So the Nuwisha are marked for death by the Garou Nation for saying that. And behold, the War of Rage Part 2 continues. But the Nuwisha say, we've got a plan. We've got this guy.
A plan.
They got this guy, Coyote laughs at Luna. And he's got this good idea. He speaks to Luna herself. And Luna, who's getting pretty sick of the War of Rage, gives the Nuwisha this like big anger gas, where like or it could be a sigil. It's a spell that makes whoever is in an area, they immediately go into frenzy. There's no rule you can make to resist it. So what the Nuwisha do is that they say, okay, we surrender, and in order to show that we mean good faith, we've made this gigantic cairn for you guys to take, so we're going to take you to the cairn, we're going to give you the cairn, we're going to do the Rav dedication together, and then the cairn's yours. And then all the werewolves who said, okay, we believe you, follow the Nuwisha all the way over to this empty cairn. I'm pretty sure the Actina and Wendigo were saying, don't do this, but of course, who listens to what any of those guys have to say anyway? So they're in the middle of this giant empty cairn. And they say, well, what the fuck? There's nothing here. And then Nuwisha say, we know, and then proceed to leave. And then while they're getting pissed about the Nuwisha, there is a fantastic scene from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that I'm thinking of. It's the fight with Survivor, where it's the stand that's like this jellyfish that makes you angry. And then, like, once you get angry, it's like this like constant buildup where you can't stop being angry until the spell stops. That sets off. And then every Garou who is in that cairn proceeds to beat each other to death.
So that's not what I read, actually. From
Yeah.
what I read from it, it said that Nuwisha told all the tribes separately to come over to their Kaja, which is what they call the cairn.
The cairn, yeah.
Yeah, and once they all got there, they were pissed because, hey, how come the children of Gaia are here? Oh, wait, hey, how come that tribe is here? Hey, you promised us the cairn, not these guys. And then they got pissed off and they just left. And the whole rage fighting thing was all the other werewolf tribes fighting over that big one, Karen.
All right.
That's
And
how I read
remember,
it.
that's why we called you for this episode.
Because you
That's
know
how I read it.
All right. So your version's probably right, but I like mine a little bit better because it's more violent.
Well, either way, there was violence, and because there was violence, they basically closed off this opening to the very far reaches of the realm because that was the curse, and that was the
and then to further rub salt in the wound, there actually was a cairn, you just didn't see the stone, and that cairn was made for the Korax and Garou, not the werewolves. So, eat shit, right?
Yeah.
And next up, you have the Wild West, where you have the whole Wild West expansion, and we'll go into it more when we do the Wild West episode, because there's a lot of stuff in that book that's really good to read. But to pretty much give you the gist as to what the Nuwisha are doing, they're going around pretty much doing what the comic at the book, the start of the book does, where they're looking for bad men and seduce them and pull them to their deaths, is what the Nuwisha do the entire time. They take credit for killing Custer. Yeah,
The Killing It, Batman.
Yeah. Killing. What was the dude's first name? It's General Custer something.
I
thought it was Cletus.
Yeah,
something.
Cletus Custer.
No, it can't be. Hang on. Let me look it up. Real quick.
No, like the whole Custer's last stand. They take.
Yeah.
Cleetus.
Yeah, that's in the comic, but
No,
I'm talking about page 23.
It was George Armstrong Custer.
Yeah, they take credit for killing him. They say that Custer tried fucking a polygonal woman, and it was Coyote who shot the arrow and that killed Custer.
And such spawned the Atari 2600 title Custer's Revenge.
Yes. They gave it the worst game ever made.
I mean, simple concept.
They had to say, "Oh, she was definitely consenting." I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case, dude. You had to go after the game was released.
No, it was not. I think they banned the game. Actually, sorry, got off topic, but
Well, game was blatantly pornographic. So
yeah, it wasn't. This was before we had the ESRB and shit, so you could do whatever you wanted.
And now we get a character who comes into the story, Laughing Mannyskins. And Dan is a big fan of this man.
Yes, because...
Yeah, you want to talk about him now?
I thought we were going to do that at the end, but...
I mean, his name's come up in history right now. We can talk about him now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so, Old Man Miniskins, the only reason why I actually wanted to look more into it...
get a little closer to your microphone.
Sorry. So, one of the reasons I wanted to look into them is because he plays a very vital role in the apocalypse, at least in terms of the scenario-wise. Apparently, he has a plan, or either that or Gaia has a plan or it might be Coyote that has a plan for his chosen when the apocalypse comes around. And supposedly, it's this grandiose prank that'll basically reset the scales in favor of the fight against the worm. And it is supposed to be absolutely hilarious, and everybody is scared shit of what it's going to be.
It's going to be this the ultimate prank video, of course.
Pretty much.
The world's going to end, so may as well laugh about it,
Pretty much. And
they're just absurdists. I love them.
I'm fucking cheekbones hurt.
Yeah. What's up?
But the guy and the person in the comic book is, I believe, is actually Manyskins, and he's been around for
in his younger years.
Yeah, the guy is still alive. That's the funny thing, and because he's been around since the Wild West, and the fact that he is still alive is really just it's really just a testament to the idea of you are as young as you feel, and if you're living life just happy and laughing, you really are going to live a long, healthy life.
Literally the curse of Howl's Moving Castle, where Sophie pretty much can live forever, but her age is subjective to her mood.
And the reason why it's called...
Don't you tell me I'm the only guy here who's seen that movie.
I know of it. I have not seen it.
You fucker gotta watch that.
I don't remember most of the movie. I remember there was
that probably is my favorite out of like all the Miyazaki movies, but we're getting off topic.
Yeah. But Old Man Miniskins, he's a guy that just walks around. He disguises himself with a lot. And he is said to be a hero and of Coyote's Chosen, actually. And when you're considered Coyote's Chosen, apparently that is a very big deal because he probably thinks that you're most funniest out of all of his children.
Yeah, if you were to fight this guy, the way I've been building Burst Bruiser in our live play, the chosen avatar of Rat God, that Laughing Miniskins carries the same threat level as that. Where he's not going to kill you directly, but he will lead you to your death, and it's going to be your own fault for doing it.
Well, it's like if only that fattle bastard Storm had listened to Chico, he wouldn't be in this fucking situation, but no.
And next up, do you have anything else to say about Miniskins or Industrial Age?
Honestly, I wish I did, but there was only so much time I had to actually do notes, and I really... I'm so embarrassed because I said I wanted to talk to him, but I didn't actually read enough about him.
That's about where I'm at.
Well,
it's all good.
Well, you really did say all there was in the book itself.
Okay.
In Industrial Age, we have the Industrial Age, and now we have the horseless carriage. We have the car, and it sucks. We have the freight ship, and it sucks. We have the steam train, and it sucks. We have the airplane, and it's even worse. And we've got all this shit that just pollutes. And with all this pollution, we now have Fomori everywhere. The Nuwisha knew about the Fomori before, but now there's a Fomori popping up every damn day. And it's at a rate where the worm is corrupting people faster than Nuwisha can really teach them. So there's only one solution for this. Terrorism.
Based.
Great. We got a picture of Nuwisha holding a shotgun to prove the point. On the page that talks about this, page 24. And pentex is the enemy. That is now priority number 1 of the Nuwisha. Target pentex. Go after the corporate executives. That's what the Nuwisha are pulling everything towards.
Oh, yeah.
Gives me a very strong impression with also how they talk about the glassworkers. The Nuwisha really don't like rich people. That's just the impression I'm getting from them. And they say, we've got a plan for the apocalypse. We're realizing that binding the worm was a massive fucking mistake. So the plan is, we're going to find the worm in the Weaver's realm. We're going to release him. And if he destroys everything, it backfires. The end. Nothing we can really do about that. But we hope what happens is that the worm is only this evil while he's under the power of the Weaver. So if we release the worm and he's his own free man, hopefully he'll, nut up and quit being sorry for himself and stop being evil. And that's what we're banking off of.
As we learned in the Rokeya video, that is not the case.
Oh, the Rokeya say, the worm is already out, but here's the thing. The Nuwisha are right about this, because if you read The Last Battle, the Jonas Albrecht book, that is what happens, and it saves the world.
Oh. Huh.
So it turns out, yes, the surefire way of stopping the apocalypse is to release the balance worm. Turns out the children of Gaia are right about something.
Oh, first time for everything.
Yeah, I know that's very hard for you to admit, Fenris Ryan, but the COG actually knew what they were talking about for once.
Wow. Big surprise.
It's not what's being said, but who's saying it.
Right.
And of course, it results in the death of Jonas Albrecht, but also Zizek dies. And we lost a shitload of werewolves, but the worm isn't as evil. So it's almost like it was worth doing in the end.
Well, before in World of Darkness lore, it's well understood that at the start of everything, the worm was a necessary evil. In order for there to be room for all the shit the wild made, some stuff had to die.
Now, what I would like to know, do the Nuwisha also have an answer for the Tzimisce Antediluvian?
Probably not. I don't think they even know it exists.
Yeah. What are you going to do when he rips his way out the Carpathian Mountains and almost takes over the world?
Well, that's a God problem. Talk to God about that.
First off, here's the
Man.
thing. You can't trust what the Nuwisha are saying, but you're going to trust the Tzimisce in what they are saying? I don't know.
The Tzimisce are a lot smarter than the Nuwisha.
3 situations in Times of Judgment, Gehenna, are caused by the big Z. I think so.
Well, I mean, to be fair.
Oh, so this is just a numbers game, is that it? Okay.
Exactly. There's more reputable sources backing up the Tzimisce Antediluvian.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there is also that one idea where, like, the worm goes and does battle with Tzimisce, and so does the Weaver, and the 3 fight and, like, nearly kill each other.
Well, we need a hope that Tzimisce bites off more than he can chew.
Well, but between both the worm and the Weaver, I imagine he will. Because, yeah, while he is, the fucking progenitor of Clan Tzimisce, he is not, an ancient avatar of a, was it like a created spirit? Yeah, of
preservation.
Death and preservation themselves.
And
stumbling over my erasure.
We have one more funny tidbit in the history section. Space. The Nuwisha have noticed that people are going to space. They have landed on the moon. They are on Sakta's body. And they might go to other moons that Luna controls and also where Coyote is living. And they say, no, stop going to space. Get out of space. Quit going here. And there's one massive entity that's doing it. The Technocracy, specifically the Void Engineers, who keep going out to space. If you catch a cosmonaut, stop him from going to space. Everything, just drop everything. Stop that launch from happening.
What are they afraid of if they do that?
What you got?
So, they've tried to, and here's the thing, they've actually, it says that they've done pranks and tried sabotaging man's desire to fly in the past. But, don't take that likely, don't make any false claims that they caused any, accidents regarding what do you call that?
Challenger.
Challenger.
Yep. Yeah. That doesn't mean that they actually caused the Challenger, because.
But they did cause Apollo 13. Nope. Nobody died in that, but it just scared the hell out of 3 people.
I mean, they're all about teaching lessons, and what did they learn?
They taught them that space is scary as hell, stay out of it.
What's that Vine video of this guy that just does what we learned, and he just slapped. It would be like, he just says, yeah, what did we learn? Yeah, what did we learn? And it's just him just like doing quick responses to people being stupid. Like his kid touches. I forget the guy's
I think he's on TikTok now.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but that's kind of the idea of the Nuwisha. You fucked up. What we learned?
Yeah, like you know it when you see it. And next up, the many faces of Coyote.
Yes, Coyote has very, very many phases. Very many things that it likes to be and likes to pretend to be and will continue to be, because there are a fucking lot of them. And there's a goddamn long section of the book. It's actually the opening to How to Be a Proper Nuwisha.
So I have a question. So,
yes.
Are his faces, these are not separate, these aren't his brood, right? These are not his spirits that are just under his brood, right? They're actually just...
It is him, but under different, like, identities. It's kind of like bilocation, what he's doing. where he's an entity that can occupy multiple physical spaces at one time.
Yeah. Is it like there's the Sean Connery James Bond, and then there's the Roger Moore James Bond.
It's exactly that. It's the same person, but they act in different ways, like slightly different ways. It's like Malkav in the Nightshade version of Gehenna, where Malkav exists in the form of 11 little girls. So the dude controls his own quantum state. He can make multiple of himself exist within multiple different spaces.
I need to be like a quantum rifle or some shit. I could probably steal that from the technocrats.
You ready to look up quantum theory? Because that's going to be a fun thing to talk about with Malkav.
I'll listen to some Stephen Hawking's bullshit. I don't know. Okay.
He ran over a man's toes and he went to Epstein Island.
That's still hysterical to me.
Let's talk about T. Malice.
Yes. So starting off the top, we have T. Malice. It's one of the oldest forms of Coyote. T. Malice is known to be a liar, a thief, and a manipulator. They are was known as the spider form of trickster, and they will gladly kill 1,000 people just to be that. Coyote was always fascinated with Spider, even from the earliest days, because we talked about earlier how Spider said, "Give me all the humans, and I will make them do things." But Spider never felt remorse and never apologized for anything she did. Coyote found her beautiful yet hideous. And long before the humans were born, Coyote asked Spider to be his mate. Spider said, "You wouldn't like that." And he's like, How would I know? She says, "When I'm done mating, I kill and devour my husband." And as the book says, Coyote took her for her word and never again offered to sleep with Spider.
The original Black Widow.
Yes. But her beauty and her deadly efficiency still fascinated him, so he always tried to find out what Spider was like, so he changed himself and became T. Malice. And Coyote liked it so much that he continues to use her even today. Anyone who follows T. Malice must strive to be like her. They need to build a web not spun of silk, but of lies. When it became apparent that the humans were too smart and they were going to, take over the world, they figured out they needed to find a way to stop the humans from destroying everything. And they decided to do what the Glasswalkers were doing and play the human game. The difference between them being is that while the Glasswalkers want to use the tools of the Weaver to destroy the worm, Coyote wants to use the tools of the Weaver to just make them suffer. They want to cause pain. And as the book says, the sins of big business fall on the heads of T. Malice. Unsafe working conditions, low minimum wages, and in some places, taxes on the money earned and land owned are so heavy that humans can't pay them to make a living. Basically, their whole job is to make life suck for people. Even though they flirt with the worm's own machinations to achieve their goals, but the worm seeks to destroy everything. T. Malice seek to ruin everything that mankind builds. Whatever they can do to make human society not work, every cog in the machine that T. Malice stops is another victory. Humans suffer, but that's fine. As long as they make, humans' lives kind of suck. They want to break down what society has become into smaller and smaller pieces. They're deconstructionists.
I've noticed something about this.
What's that?
I've noticed something about this. This is like sexy in a dark way.
What?
And so Coyote has the huts for the Weaver.
Yes.
And when the Weaver says it's not going to work, Coyote, in like a psychosexual or like gender queer kind of way, makes a version of himself that is Spider, that is like his own like fascinations of the Weaver and what he thinks the Weaver's like. And from the sound of it, is that she's like this dominating sadist. And it kind of says something about like what Coyote likes, doesn't it?
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck.
Yeah.
Many legs.
I was getting more of the idea of like he's kind of doing the work of Red Talons, but using the tools of the Glasswalkers.
Yeah, that's basically what's going on.
Yeah, I saw this more like a Freudian perspective.
Yeah.
Is there shipping in World of Darkness?
There's always shipping.
Can we get an archive of our own fan fiction between the Weaver and Coyote?
I
don't know
do
if you
not
can
want to
handle it,
read that. We already got Grimm and Freyo. We got Tyler and Elmira. I think we're good on shipping fiction.
To the internet. Let's go to Rule 34.
Oh God, no!
Oh,
No,
God,
no,
please.
Coyote and Spider. It's there.
Oh, good Lord! No.
I don't doubt it.
No. Okay.
Send your spider pornography pictures to our Galliard group Twitter page.
No, please don't
please.
fucking do that. I swear to God.
Please,
I
do me
will
a favor
DDoS an orphanage if you do that.
Specifically send it to
Please.
Colts, please.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Put
do
it
me
in
the
his,
favor of sending it to Colt.
I hate
Colt
all of
Mason7
you.
on Twitter.
Okay, moving on from that, we have Loki. As we said before, Loki is a much more violent incarnation of the trickster. As the Get follows the call to war, so do Loki, but most Nuwisha don't like to fight. As the book quotes, in the words of my teacher, better to let the others fight. I'll watch them and laugh when they and their enemies are carried away from the fields of battle. Then I'll tell the others of the great deeds I did on that very field and the numbers of my foes I defeated. Kind of based. The Nuwisha aren't particularly strong. The Garou and the Bastet and the Picole and the Garou, those are all better at fighting and killing. The Nuwisha are better at looking at the world and learning from it. They'd rather lead an enemy to one of the other skin changes and let someone bigger and stronger handle the combat. But Loki isn't like that. They revel in battle. They drink the blood of their enemies. They want to kill. They want to see blood in their eyes and gore in their teeth. They want to see burnt, dead bodies.
Everybody loves being tortured, hurt, and mutilated, and we are going to kill everybody. I want to kill my children. I want to be ugly.
Yes. So Loki needs to know how to fight in order to live amongst the other changeling breeds. As the book says, the Loki that we are talking to, which in the book is laughs too much. Loki laughs too much. Claims to have slain Garou in combat and held his and even held his own against a girl long enough to apologize for defecating in her den. What? None of your business. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Now let me talk.
Why?
Is bear shit in the woods?
I think they do. Loki are the closest things the Nuwisha have to warriors, but they're tricksters first and foremost. They believe in taking the lessons down to a level that even the Garou can understand. Might does not always make right. So the Loki train themselves vigorously in order to teach that lesson to any enemy who comes along in order to prove the otherwise. So they need to fight the other changers, and sometimes they only need to fight the worm. But Loki followers are always prepared to do battle. But if they're losing, they're prepared to run. Nuwisha aren't stupid enough to die over an insult. But the goal isn't always to kill. For the worm, of course you have to. The Garou, you have to keep teaching them even though they don't like having you around. The Nuwisha have taught Wolf how to break, past the barrier that holds the worlds apart. They taught them to go to the Umbra, to travel to the stars. Some say that they taught them too well, but that's not true. What they know of the Umbra is less than half of what they actually know, but the Garou had to know in order for them to do their job. So Loki exists to teach the Garou and others that thoughts are just important as actions. That's their main prerogative.
Where, they're right about that, and this is also like blurring the line between Loki, the Gaia Fenris, and Loki, the face of Coyote, because the way they describe that fighting, that's also what Loki was like in the Gaia Fenris story.
Yes, very much here. I will fight you, but I'm not going to die for it. But you are going to learn from fighting me.
He's going to start enough fires to bring them all together into like one massive mosh pit, like he did with the war against Odin.
Yes.
And after you win, you teabag the shit out of it.
Yeah.
There we go. We're going to turn this from team deathmatch into a battle royale.
Team deathmatch. Slayer. Okay, moving on from that. Raven. Raven is cunning and sneaky. They watch others squabble, and they always listen. Raven and Coyote have always been friends.
Identity thief.
And many times Raven has saved Coyote from their own mistakes. They owe a lot to Raven, and sometimes, become Raven for a while just so they can relax. They really are the same, but they're very different. The Ravens are still tricksters, if those of you who remember the Korax episode, but they also watch over the other changers. Ravens spend a lot of their time in disguise. They lurk around the other changing breeds, and they learn about them. They are, in ways, a leader of the Nuwisha, if they had leaders. Wisdom, however, is more important than humor for Raven. They study all there is to see. They help the other changers avoid, their most dangerous, mistakes. All followers of Coyote are also followers of Raven, because that's what Coyote says they should do. Basically, the War of Rage came to the Nuwisha, and the Raven taught them the best ways to avoid the conflict. The Garou would attack, the Korax would drop them to the ground again and again, and they basically just sort of, pretended that they fucking just pretended to lose.
That play dead.
Yeah, they basically played dead. Like, there's a neat story here in the back end of it. It was...
I'm realizing now we're missing a page.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder, there's 29, and then there's...
we're missing page 30 in the copy I have.
Okay, I was wondering about that. Yeah, so
I guess that's it with Raven then, because we're missing a page.
Yeah, I was confused about that.
All right, Danston, do you have page 30?
Let's see. Raven, when the Garou came and demand that we surrender our kibas, that they might have Karens, we did so without argument. A few powerful kibas we hide away, but most now belong to the Garou, or so we think. Satisfied that they may have driven us away.
You're a bit too far away from the mic.
Yeah, I do. I have page 30.
It's right in my face.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, keep it next to your mouth, but yeah, pretty much we sell all there what really was to say with Raven.
Yeah, that basically it's like they watch each other's backs all the time. That's what they do.
Let's see, next up is Ogma. What you were saying?
I was just gonna say, was that the right page that you're missing?
Yeah, that was that page.
Missing that.
Well, I mean, in the book
okay.
here, I have Hochipili first, and then Ogma.
All right. We've got Ogma, where I can quickly introduce who he is. He is the Bard.
Yes.
The whole Galliard kind of stuff, where part of the Galliard is that you tell stories of Garou who fucked up at work in the past. You take that with Ogma and then you crank that up whenever it comes to town, where maybe we don't have to make it a past tense song. Maybe we can tell the story of your failure as you're making the failure. I'm going to be the guy who's behind you singing your theme music about what an idiot you are.
It's quite literally that scene from Monty Python going, Sir Robin ran
Sir Robin.
away. Yeah,
exactly that.
Yes.
And
He's Sir Robin. He's Sir Robin.
you got the story of Laughs Too Much, where a Wendigo came up to him and said, "Laughs too much? You're an idiot. You're an even bigger idiot than I am. I've had enough of your sense of humor. You have lost 100 battles, and you can't fight worth a damn. And you just have the Nisha in question just look over, and the Wendigo in question is covered in dust, bloody and bruised, but there's a small smile on the Wendigo's face, and it's oh yeah, I'm stressing you out. You're starting to crack, and I'm noticing this. So it's all the stress I'm putting you through is beginning to work, and you're beginning to see your own issues and your own failings through me pissing you off."
Yeah, I realize now looking at the book that page 30 and 31 are reversed in my PDF.
Very strange.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. So I was wondering why you were talking about Ogma before Hochipili.
Yep. So you had that picture where it's 30, 31. that's what the Wendigo does, and gets so pissed off, and Ogma slugs him in the gut, only to realize, wait a minute, it's my own fault I suck so much at combat.
Yeah, that. See, for me, but in the past I would say I suck at combat, but then I spec'd a whole bunch of my points into brawl and strength and dex, and then RNGs just fucked me over.
It's
There
funny
we go.
you say that. Well, when we get into the relationships, I got something that's laughable. to
Oh
talk
boy.
about.
Okay.
And now we're at the point of our live play where we have character death on the table.
Yeah, there we go. There's Hoichipili next. A Hoichipili is actually a player in the game. They constantly take risks far beyond their ability. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but they always laugh. For Hoichipili, the thrill of challenging the odds is more exciting than victory. The children of Hoichipili live by the same belief. They thrive on challenges that would daunt even the bravest of Farah. They don't need to brag, they just need to, but, others will always know when Hoichipili accomplishes a task. I love the story in the book. Once on a bet, a Hoichipili climbed aboard a moving plane filled with the minions of the worm. When the plane was high above the ground, Hoichipili stopped the engines by throwing feather pillows and bones into them. With all the engines gone, the pilots tried to bring the plane down safely. The Nuwisha mocked the odds, ripped the steering device from the plane's wings, and then shredded the tires of the plane as it tried to land. The plane rolled 3 times and exploded in a ball of flames. There were no survivors except Hoichipili mocks the odds. His arm was torn off in the landing, but he laughed anyway. The Hoichipili are insane in their actions. They are also among the luckiest of Nuwisha. I love them.
We have, if I may, Xochipilli in Aztec myth.
I was saying
yes,
it wrong. I thought it was Hoichipili. Okay.
I think you say it like the X like a Z.
Oh, okay. So I was saying it wrong.
And with 3.5 in the future, yes, we will eventually have a Rage Across the Aztecs supplement.
Cool.
Rage Across the Amazon is cool, but I wish we had a little bit more like Aztec and Mayan stuff in it. And
there's always Mexico at night.
There is. There is. Thank you for reminding me of that.
If we do that, I'm playing Ramirez in like a full campaign.
We have Xochipilli, who is the god of art, games, as in gambling games, dance, and flowers. And the thing is, whenever you played a game with Xochipilli, the game would always be rigged to where he would win all the time. Heads, I win. Tails, I also win.
The truth is,
the
game was rigged from
That's
the start.
overpowered.
Yes. And it's also...
What if he plays a mage that's has like high was it entropy?
Yeah, entropy. Like he's pretty much like a sphere 6 or 7 entropy mage.
Yeah,
That's
so if
pretty
he
fucking tight.
so if he faces in a game of what I don't know, these names are
Blackjack.
very hard to pronounce.
Yeah. You fight against him in game, and you start wondering, well, why is he only rolling 10s? Why are all of his rolls 10s? And it turns out that's why.
Because he's cheating.
Exactly. And funny enough, he's also listed in this as the god of prostitutes. So
That's
if you
kinda
want
fun.
the sex worker, you had to go through this guy.
He is the god of OnlyFans.
And also with him being like the flower man, I'm also wondering like how much of it was like male prostitutes bought by male clients.
How dare he try to take the reign from Elmira?
Yeah.
Not Elmira. What was
Remember, it's
Tabitha?
not that you love the man.
Tabitha, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that you love the man. It's that it's a sign of power. That's why you're doing it.
It
All
depends.
right.
Okay, Chung Quell. Chung Quell is also a master of the odds, but instead of making him win, he makes sure that others lose. Coyote
Instead,
loves... What's up?
He makes all of your dice rolls ones when you
Yes.
fight them.
Coyote loves Chung Quell and wears the face of the god of luck. The followers thrive on pranks that few others could. Rather than openly opposing their enemies, they make certain that they suffer the worst kind of luck. Ladders fall down, important documents are missing, it's a very subtle art compared to I lost this fucking Xochipilli. It's like the opposite of Xochipilli, really. It's a fun name to say, Xochipilli. It says that Chunquel was, responsible for the Great Depression, the stock market crash, and, they basically set pentex back a long way just by poor fortune alone. Not because they and they'd never toyed with the stock market again, not just because they feared they would hurt the humans, but because they knew they could. So they wanted to find new and exciting ways to fuck over people. Breaking dams, close calls at nuclear reactors, and landslide victories of politicians. It's all the Chunquel, because they decide who's an enemy, and they make their enemies suffer the worst luck.
They did fuck up that one time with Fukushima.
A little bit, yeah, but, there were some outstanding circumstances there.
They didn't know a tsunami was going to happen the same day they did that.
Yeah. Who do they have to blame for that?
I was looking up Chunquel to see if I could get, like, a Chinese myth parallel. Instead, I have no idea if this is a fan star or not, like a D&D second edition Chinese supplement god.
That's kind of neat.
Apparently, he's lawful good in that game.
That doesn't make any sense, but okay.
There's a code that he goes by.
There we go. The code is tails you lose, heads you also lose.
Yes.
Still a code.
Yes. Moving on from that, we have Ptah. Ptah is the creator of the universe, the gateway between worlds, the ones responsible for granting life to the Earth Mother. His followers are known as the Umbral Dancers, that is Dansers, because they can't spell, the Guardians of the Stars. All of the Nuwisha follow Ptah. Most follow him all the time. Only a handful remains behind on Earth Mother, because most are busy protecting the stars and the Umbra from the worm's influences. They don't fight the way most others do. They're still tricksters. They acknowledge that some places in the Umbra are beyond recovery, so they instead try to use their gifts for the greater good. They hide the worm's minions and what the worm must not see. In
terms of
what's up?
How to explain dance, by the way. That's referring more towards choreography than anything else. It's not like the Ghost Dance of the Wendigo, where, of course, the moves, but there's a lot of improvisation and in the moment. With the dance that these guys are doing, this is prepared months in advance, and it goes perfectly the way that the Coyotes plan it. These are guys who have perfect plans, and it makes sense too, because Ta, the god that they've named this face of Coyote after, is the god who can see the past and all records of the past.
Yeah, they got their data sorted.
Yeah, this is a guy that knows his shit. So
yes.
You're fighting a genius whenever you go up against a Coyote, a Nuwisha that worships Ta.
A photographic memory. And so the worm works in mysterious ways, and many of his puppets are doing his bidding without knowing him. Specifically, they point out the Void Engineers, and their purpose is to make the Umbra cease to exist. By studying the Umbra, the Void Engineers report their findings to the world, and to do so, they steal the power of the Umbra. So the mages try to force the Umbra to abide by their rules, and they have had some success. Which is
a teeny bit of misinformation with that.
A little bit.
What the Void Engineers want to do is that they want to destroy the Gauntlet. And forcibly combine the Umbra and the material plane together.
That sounds terrifying.
They're going to do it for science.
But that doesn't make any sense, because, technocracy doesn't have any spirit power.
See, that's the reason they're going into it, because the minute we understand the Umbra, we'll have full, scientific data as to how to control this plane. So when the Gauntlet's gone, behold, we reach mass ascension because we have the science to completely control the spirit plane without ever needing the spirit sphere to begin with.
That's how the humans win to an extent.
As for how you accomplish that, you gotta figure out Meiji Ascension shit, because with all the different spells you can do, there's multiple ways you can do that, and I'm just struggling to think of what way specifically you can control that.
The song is brought to you by the Shadow Government. Okay.
I want to say correspondence and entropy, but I'm trying to put it together in words.
Yes.
So the Todd dedicate themselves basically making sure that the Void Engineers only explore the parts of the Umbra that belong to the worm. Places of great power and beauty are protected. And then the Garou have a select group of their family, the Wagnerians, who know of the Ta and the Umbral Dance. The Garou are the only ones that they trust with the truth about the Nuwisha. Most believe that the War of Rage drove them to extinction, and they sort of prefer it that way. So the Ta help the Wagnerians in their quest to find a new Earth Mother. They strive to locate the Earth Mother in order to make their Gaia stronger and to help her live. And they've had some success, like the hole in the ozone layer is a great gash in the Earth Mother's flesh, growing smaller because of the Wagnerians. So they watch them very closely.
This one is going to get Ryan's head to turn when we talk about Pan and Kokopelli.
Yes. So, Pan and Kokopelli. Pan is the god of nature and all that implies. He's a fertility god, and so is Kokopelli. Coyote uses the face of Pan from time to time, but he prefers Kokopelli. Kokopelli just wants them to have fun. Pan demands that they sate their lusts, but never by force. It's easy to follow those aspects of the trickster. Both have a very devious sense of humor and will normally fall into a need to satisfy their desires immediately. And the followers are very similar to that. They believe that dance is very important, as dance is a celebration of life and nature, as well as the finest way to express someone's feelings. As someone who likes to dance myself, yes, that is true. From this love of dance and elegance, they sort of developed an interesting pattern of fighting. There isn't really a name for the dance of war, but it's a part of a greater dance that all experience in the course of their lives. Pan and Kokopelli also love music. Many Nuwisha learn to play the flute or another wind instrument to get themselves these two aspects of Coyote. Kokopelli is remembered through the American Southwest, where Nuwisha have traveled. They've painted Kokopelli on the rocks, carved them in stone. But, they're remembered so when they passed through a place and brought joy and music. The Kokopelli and even the Pan are symbols of the youth of the Nuwisha. They cannot allow the world to weigh so heavily that they forget to, revel in the wild abandon of innocence, as the book puts it. Even the Loki will bear the sign of Kokopelli. Remember to have time to celebrate. It's basically what that tells us.
And the thing about him that's crazy is that you look at Southwestern American myth, and Kokopelli was a sex god. Like even the cave paintings of him had the dude's penis in it, and it was going down past his knees in the cave paintings. Mm-hmm. And
Kokopelli was actually an ancient Native American term for a tripod.
There. And what you would do is that you would call Kokopelli, and he'd play the flute, and you would get on with the flute like the dude was doing Marvin Gaye stuff. And behold, these Nuwisha are very similar to the Aethera Inamorata of the children of Gaia, where if we need to make another Nuwisha, we just call one of these guys, and either he gets you pregnant or he gives you the supplements you need to do that.
Yep.
So, there you go.
There goes go mad, it won't go home. Okay. Kishijoten. Kishijoten is Coyote's nurturing aspect, though many doubt Coyote is capable of feeling any responsibility for anything, but the Kishijoten is the trickster's way of giving guidance to the Nuwisha. Many times they show them the kindness that heals. There's very many followers of Kishijoten, for it's their nature to care for other people, whether they want to or not. Even after the Garou talk miles of shit about them, they still forgive them and help them where they can. They're most often found with the other changeling breeds, disguised as one of their own, ready to lend moral or physical support. And, it's as the book notes, you'd be surprised how often the Wendigo and Get Ephemeris need someone sympathetic to listen to their problems. Even the Red Talons cannot stand alone against the pains thrown at Earth Mother, no matter what their claims. The Kishijoten have aided the leaders of the Silver Fangs, taking their madness away, preventing them from destroying all they sought to build. Out of all of them, the Silver Fangs suffer the most. The crown of leadership is heavy, and the sins they have committed in their past haunt them. And their sins have been many. The Kishijoten do not believe in provoking combat, for that only causes more grief. They follow the hardest path of all the Nuwisha, for, humor that heals is much softer. It grates against, their nature to be constantly kind, and there is a certain maliciousness to it. They, almost physically need to play tricks and cause mischief, because, mischief is a part of life. It happens. And the trickster has more aspects than, what we all know, but, Coyote is wise, but he's also carefree. He's sad when he is happy. He lusts for life and crushes life from friend and foe alike with little regard.
Now, here's the thing that made my head spin about Kishijoten. Because I told you I've been doing a ton of reading when it comes to Hindu myth.
Yes.
And looking at this, yes, reiterating this point that we did with the Stargazers, all Asian culture is connected, and the bridge that connects them all is Hinduism. Because Kishijoten was a Buddhist goddess who was adapted from a Hindu goddess, that goddess being Lakshmi. The wife of Vishnu.
Yes.
The big fucking deal. Where, looking at Lakshmi, that is the wife of the Preserver, who covers many things. Wealth, fortune, power, beauty, fertility, prosperity, all comes from her. Any and all success you have in your life is contributed to her. So, you got Coyote masquerading as that. And if you want success in your life at the detriment of someone else, this is who you go with.
Right. So wait, does this mean Bacchus is married?
Yes, and this is the wife.
Huh.
Bacchus has been in a gay transsex marriage with Coyote this entire time.
That's very progressive of him.
Yeah, well, he's a very progressive man. He has a lot of sex,
That's true. That's very true. And there is...
He had it with Tyler. He had it with Elmira.
Probably a couple of other the Black Furies, but you know what? So there is a number of other... It says, Coyote's other children. But,
it's like a fill-in-the-blank section, pretty much.
Yeah, basically. There's not a whole lot more in this section.
Said, did we miss a trickster? Well, you, the player, get to add it.
Yep. So if you know a trickster that we don't know, then go ahead.
Every single one of them is a totem, by the way.
All right, cool. I'm going to have Norm MacDonald as a totem.
I know a trickster. His
trickster?
name is Tyler.
There he is.
Well, I mean,
he makes us think he's badass when he isn't.
He makes us think he's dead, but he's not.
Well, no, I've just been cursed a bit unlucky as Fianna into history, Fianna.
You can make a I'll make a Bugs Bunny totem.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Nice.
There it is. We got T Malice. Background cost 4. This is dirt cheap, dude. T Malice gives you 2 dice in manipulation and enigmas. The ban is that T Malice demands her followers show no mercy to the weak. Yep.
Where is this in the book? Oh, yeah, there we go. I see it.
Yeah.
No mercy to the weak.
This one with a screaming monkey on it.
Yeah, I see it.
Loki, background costs 7. Loki gives you 1 additional health level and 1 extra dot and 1 physical attribute of your choice, even if the attribute level increases it past 5. That's a big fucking deal, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking tight.
The ban is that Loki demands all of his followers always accept formal challenges, even from the worm. You can't say no. Your glory is constantly on the line.
Yeah, that's a holdover from the Get.
Kishi Jotun, a background cost 4. Kishi Jotun grants her children 1 extra health level and 2 dots in medicine. This is vital. The ban is that Kishi Jotun asks that her followers always stop to help the injured, excluding Worm, of course. Next up along the lines, we have Ta. Background cost 5, but Ta has to choose you. You can't choose Ta. Ta grants his followers the ability to travel to the Umbra with minimal difficulty. Pretty much you're going to have like 2 or 3 dots moved to the difficulty of the Umbra to a minimum of 3, no matter what situation you're in.
Damn.
Only Nuwisha who follow Ta are capable of learning the Umbral dance, and Nuwisha may use it against Sense Worm whenever they want to in the Umbra. The ban is that Ta asked his followers to defend the stars from all that would cause them harm, i.e. the Void Engineers.
That sounds pretty tight.
Kokopelli / Pan. Background cost 4. Kokopelli and Pan gain a dot in stamina and 2 in performance. And you also get a combat maneuver, but, combat maneuver, schmombat maneuver. The ban is that Kokopelli insists that Nuwisha who follow them will never strike out in anger. You must act like a stargazer when you have this guy.
Love your brother.
Chung Quell. Background cost 6. Chung Quell's followers can cast bad luck on whoever they feel deserves it. Pretty much you get to fuck with people's rolls is what this ultimately means you can do.
That's just funny.
On a if you roll if the person you targeted rolls a 1, nothing happens. On a roll of a 2 over 9, it kind of counts like a failure no matter what the difficulty is. And instead, a 10 acts as a 1 instead whenever you make a roll.
That's fucked.
And you also get 2 dice of stealth and 2 dice of subterfuge rolls. The ban is that Chunkwell asks that her abilities only be used on those who knowingly follow the worm. No, shitty people only. Xochipilli. Xochipilli grants his children amazing luck. Deeds that should kill one of his children often fail to do so. You get +3 to your survival rolls. And the followers of Xochipilli gain 5 soak dice whenever they perform outrageous stunts that should prove fatal.
5 soak dice.
You get to do like the Ravnos, where you go like the Evil Knievel motorcycle jump, and you fall, you break your neck, and then you stand up from that.
That's fucking crazy.
Xochipilli requests for his ban. His followers never turn away from a dare. So yeah, you're in competition with the Ravnos.
That's funny as shit.
Oh yeah, truth or dare. Always dare.
See the Ogma. Background cost 8, dude. And also he has to pick you. You can't pick him.
It's fucking expensive.
Ogma is the bard and the judge. Nuwisha chosen by Ogma can call upon 5 willpower points per story. They may distribute 4 extra dots amongst physical traits during combat. And may distribute 5 extra dots to all their mental attributes during a mental challenge. Behold, points for days that you can just pull out of your sheet and reassemble depending on what the situation is.
What's the ban?
The ban is that you will never strike out in anger.
Fuck all that for a background cost of 8? Fuck that. Hook that up to my veins.
Yeah, just raking your rolls with Akuma.
Bro, I love the Nuwisha. What the hell?
And then the Not Raven, well, pretty much it's exactly what Raven from the Corax episode that we did. Like everything that Raven does, he also does for the Nuwisha, except it's not Raven, it's Coyote again, pretending to be Raven.
Okay, so the Nuwisha are just Kirby.
And now we get to talk about the Renown. Danston, you know about the Renown. Tell us about the Renown.
So, in terms of renown, they do not go by glory, honor, and wisdom. They go by a different set of renown, which is I actually thought at first they just replaced wisdom with cunning, but no, there's actually more that I did not know about. And apparently, it's let's see, trying to get it in my notes here for a second. Give me
There's humor,
there's humor, and then there's one more.
cunning, and glory.
Is it? Oh, is it still glory? Oh gosh.
Yeah, they have glory. Yeah, they have glory in their sheet.
Okay. Oh gosh darn.
Where the glory is more like what you were able to get away with.
It's true. It's kind of like the glory of just pulling off the most epic prank.
Yeah,
Like
you
it's
went
funny
into something that
and
should have killed
glorious.
you, and you survived.
Exactly.
And
But
I'm
in
looking
terms
at
of
humor.
yeah, in terms of like the renown, like I'm not really sure how the auspices work because like how they go up in rank is based on like what dots they have and what specific renowns. So in terms of the Nuwisha, how are they actually gaining rank? You know, like in terms of like how many dots they have in certain renowns.
Because looking at the Nuwisha, there is no auspice. It's just breed and forms.
Right. So then, how? What exactly is the renown for? You know, if there's no way of actually telling when someone's at a second rank, then what's the point of it? You know.
See, we have dismantled the system of renown, and instead we just use it for personal accolades.
Mm. I guess they kind of expect you to go by the same kind of system with as the Garou, but just change the name of each one
Exactly.
and what they do. So, but if
Where
they don't have any auspices, which auspice growth rating do you go by? You know, actually, I guess it would just be Ragabash, right? So like,
yeah,
doesn't
because they're
matter.
pretty much an entire breed of Ragabash, and I'm pretty sure the renown is
Yeah,
just there for like your personal score.
that makes sense. That makes sense. And yeah, that's kind of how renowned works. Then there is. Do you want me to talk about the global presence?
Yeah, the global
Or
presence, because how does an animal that is only found in America have a global presence?
so, in terms of the global presence, the book doesn't have a lot of detail in regard to Nowisha's influence. This section, but remember, Coyote himself traveled everywhere in the past, right? He's been all
Yes.
around the place. So he knows all this shit. So this section of the book is more rather about the world in Coyote's eyes. And it kind of is written like a travel brochure for other Nuwisha to read and what to expect when they go to different regions. So funny thing is, yeah, and so the only thing they mention. So let's starting with Asia, and so here's the thing. Um, the only thing they really mentioned in Asia to, are the Garou and the changing breeds who live there. And I could go into detail, but I'm not the one that's supposed to be covering relationships with the other tribes. But but they did kind of actually leak it in with this, and there was no mention of the kitsune in that section, but they did mention the kitsune in this section.
Which is very
And
strange.
yeah,
Do it up.
so they go into great detail about them. Were-foxes are strange creatures with many strange beliefs. They are also among the few we can honestly call friends. They are like us in many ways, but they are as different as Luna from the Earth Mother. That's what makes them interesting to know. Lean more toward violence than we do, but their need to destroy is always balanced by the need to preserve. Do not question the actions of the Kitsune, for the Coyote does not need to teach them. I have long believed that the kitsune are Coyote's other children. Perhaps someday the trickster will let me know if I'm right. I do not know how to pronounce his name.
Kishijoten.
Kishijoten is the strongest in Japan, where the kitsune dwell. I tend to think that there is a connection between the two.
I
So,
think there's a connection between the two.
yeah, so in terms of the Middle East, it is quoted, if ever a place was made for pranking, it is the Middle East. Now, keep in mind the book was published in 1997. And
Rip.
I and I think a better wording for this is, if there was ever a place more deserving of pranks, it would be the Middle East.
So we're going to
And
make a video where we're going to say it's haram for a woman to wear a backpack, and we're going to see how many people agree with it. As a joke.
yeah,
I mean,
and
we
I
just
think if
did,
it was,
so.
I'm just saying that if this book was written a few years later, maybe after 9/11, I think this would still apply. Just
The
I
wording
think
would be different.
there would be a very strong emphasis on prank with caution,
Yes.
like prank
Yes.
at own risk. If you do get caught, don't blame it on somebody else.
Yes. Like
Yes.
Bush. Because we know he did it.
So they're taking credit for the Bush shooting incident?
Well, I'm not going to say that.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Yeah. So, and they go on to say that they think the worm is stronger in their minds than anywhere else on the planet, even in the land. The humans rip the blood of Earth Mother from the ground here in order to buy foods grown in other parts of the world. They find nothing wrong with this. Again, they are insane. So, and they also talk more on the Silent Striders in regards to the Middle East. The Silent Strider Garou still walk the land here, doing what they can to solve the mysteries of the human mind. I guess, personally, I think they've gone crazy to stay in the area. Tread carefully in the Middle East, but be prepared to teach many lessons to those who should be taught. In a land where no life is held as sacred, even the life of an individual, pranks are the rule of the day. They do not learn well in the Middle East. No, they do not.
Hmm.
So,
as we know, that's the land where you can get away with anything, right?
Time to destabilize.
Country destabilized, calling us because we were guys.
Yep.
I love working for the CIA.
So let's see. So Australia, they are aware that there was a tribe in the Garou that fell in the War of Rage, and let's see,
The Bunyip.
where the children, yep, and where the children of Croatan died to save the land, the children of the Bunyip were slaughtered out of spite and maliciousness. Bunyip is still angry, and apparently, Coyote has actually gone to far reaches of the Umber and has spoken to Bunyip, supposedly. The ghosts of his children still honor him, but they can no longer dance for him or make proper sacrifices. Never venture into the Umbra of Australia in anything but your true form. Ah, yes, because if people mistake you in the Umbra in Australia as Garou, you will be targeted and possibly it's a dangerous thing to do because there are spirits on the other side in the Australia that don't like them.
Yes. They'll probably just kill you.
From time to time, the Nuwisha who travel to Australia take the form of Bunyip Garou and make celebrations in the Bunyip way. We are not the Bunyip, but the wound left by their destruction will remain remembered by all Garou who come to Australia. We won't let the Garou forget that they killed their own. Again.
Muckhead.
Yeah. So never has a land been so. Oh yeah, Europe.
Yeah.
So
Let's do what? Hold on, let's do one more because we're kind of like running a little long on time.
okay, well I'll do
Yeah.
Europe and kind of Great Britain together. So
Let's do it.
so yeah, so Europe they they see that the Garou in Europe and Britain, there is no Garou more serious in what their old beliefs are than in that region. It's like the Black Furies are the most feminist driven. The Getter Fenrist are the most vicious and savage. The Silver Fangs are the most insanely regal and not just insane the most in Europe. Everybody there is like old old brain thinking, old traditional ways in terms of the Garou. And they caution anybody who travels to Europe. Never reveal what you are. Never reveal what you are to any Garou in that land, for their beliefs do not are are too set, and they are suspicious of anyone who is not from their country, even though they are all clumped together, and it only takes a couple of miles for you to be in a completely different culture. Many of them make the Wendigo seem calm by comparison, and that includes the more civilized tribes, quote unquote.
It's more
Yeah.
civilized tribes, like the Black Spiral Dancers, right?
Yes. That's
Yep.
that's a joke. See?
Is what's the only werewolf you can find in Scotland these days?
Spoilers.
Fianna and Get, and they do say that in Great Britain that they're they have a very strong presence there, and they are actually the most, and they probably would be the most toughest of those tribes can be found in Great Britain. There is a very strong. What would you call it? It's the same.
Worm energy.
Strong worm presence.
I was gonna just say more like strong in terms of hardiness in that area because being cramped up in a one in like one body of land, it's gonna make someone very senile. And you have to have a very like a very tough skin to actually survive there, especially if you're a Garou.
Yep.
But yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess that's the. But yeah, I
I
won't go
told
into.
you about my trip to Scotland. I told you that when I got off the plane, like 6 hours later, I was sick because the air there was just that nasty.
Oh,
Where,
that's nice.
yeah, I had a horrible time in Scotland.
And
I won't
see,
recommend it to anybody.
I went back in like 2012 when I was younger, and I honestly really liked it there. But
And I
a
went in
lot changes.
2023 when after Brexit and the country lost all of its fucking money.
Yep.
I still think I'm not allowed there.
But
Oh yeah.
don't go. I did not see the sun for 11 days. I didn't think it would affect me that way.
Yep. And I'll just
I
skim
mean,
like
I'm okay with not seeing the sun.
and like I'll skim the rest. Like South America, there's the war in the Amazon. That's bad. Maybe avoid that. Africa, they talk a little more about the Sound Striders. They do call, like they do call the Sound Striders their friends, and we learn many secrets about them. Like they miss them. They miss the Sound Striders. They used to be cool, but now they're not as cool anymore. But now they don't want to be our friends anymore, and that kind of sucks.
They're like the dispossessed and the harbingers, and they say weird stuff, and they're all obsessed with killing vampires.
Yeah, that was cool. Like, and now they don't want to be our friends because we just did one prank that pissed them off. Come on,
And,
Soundstriders. You used to be cool.
and Kyle, you see the picture on page 37, like the guy with the bagpipes with a thumbs up?
Yes.
So that's pretty much what they're doing internationally, is that the Nuwisha have like little sleeper agents. But the sleeper agent knows he's an agent.
Yep.
So there's Nuwisha planted all across the world that are there where like in places that they need to be, and they're gearing up for one massive prank that is going to change the country or like the landscape that they're in. For the better or worse, depends on how well the person on the receiving end of the joke takes the joke.
Well,
And,
if it's the world as a whole, then fucking get on with it. I think we need a kick in the ass.
And we have a litany. I'll shoot through it. Let fools die a fool's death. If you see somebody who would be better off dead with natural selection, Just let them die. Just let natural selection take its course. We don't need any more idiots out in the world. You can see it in Nuwisha calling people sheeple.
That's funny.
Yeah,
shit.
but like, don't let as long as they're willing to listen and help them. If they want to learn, help them. But if they refuse, fuck them.
Yeah, teach those who need teaching a proper lesson. If you see a guy is worth keeping around or a guy can redeem themselves, support them, play a prank on them, get them to learn, get them to turn their life around. No,
Kind of like
get up and go.
That's kind of Christian-like, It's like that's why they gave us free will,
Kind of your Thanatos-like. I'm going to get into your Thanatos connection in a minute.
Oh boy.
Always prank the worm, because like fuck the worm, right? It's like a nicer version of fight the worm wherever it breeds, wherever it dwells.
Yep.
Punch down.
Be subtle. Be subtle. Don't let anybody on that you're a Nuwisha. Don't tell anybody that. The veil applies not just to humans, but to other changing breeds. So, nobody can know you're a Nuwisha.
Gonna be kind of tough.
Yep.
Next one. Respect Luna. I mean, after all, we did crush in her house, and we have to serenade her every night, so, never say anything bad about Luna for as long as you live.
She buys the beer and pays the rent, and we just sleep on her couch.
And then
she is queen. Don't disrespect her.
Yes. Oh, woman or queens.
I'll tip my fedora to that. And then think, then act. Don't go into battle thinking you're going to win. You have to have a plan going into this. If you think you're going to lose, get out of there. If you think you're going to win, get into it. After all, you got to be logical about this kind of stuff. I mean, you don't want to be like the Garou who have killed how many of their own? 2 of their tribes at this point? Yep. So, quit being like Garou. Be a genius. You got to be a genius. Speaking of the Garou, we can get into relationships now.
Yes.
Although there are some Nuwisha who are willing to die for the joke.
I would hope so.
See, it's like Nico Cut Avocado, where the punchline to his channel is him going to be dead of heart disease.
All right.
Good
the
Lord.
Relationships.
Yes.
Relationships.
So,
sorry, John's laughing real quick. Let him laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Go with it. Go on with it.
It's not a Nuwisha. It's not a Nuwisha video unless somebody's laughing.
That's true.
Right. It's to be fair, it's not a Galliard group episode unless someone's laughing.
Yes.
I guess so. Yeah. Yep.
So, relationships. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something that I started to do when I first started doing the podcast, and that was I actually took notes up until the best set.
Hey, look at that.
Here we go.
So I'm going to read, hopefully word for word, what I wrote down.
Paraphrase version.
That I didn't. Yeah. So we're going to start with the Black Furies. They find them brave, intelligent, capable, but they punish their own for being male. They think that the distinction between genders is way too powerful. And I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't think I am.
And Bill Nye comes on stage and says, gender, like colors, is on a spectrum. So there you go. Again, progressive for this episode with the Nuwisha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moving on to the Bonars, they're survivors. Most Garou look down on them. They think that it's a shame. They think that but the Nuwisha think that the Garou can learn from them. Scavengers. They call them noble, brave, and resourceful. Best of the Garou, in quotations. Though they lack manners and bathe even less.
They're looking at this guy who's like behind a Burger King eating a Whopper out of a trash can. Who's only got one shoe on and it's untied. And they point at him and say, "This is what you need to be. You need to be more like this man."
Hey, he's humble at the very least.
It's the Will Smith arms out, spread out, and it's just a homeless man eating out of the
Yep,
trash.
the fucking
Be like
Behind every homeless man is just another Socrates.
yeah.
You can see the Nuwisha bump into Mr. Wendell by Arrested Development.
I never watched Arrested Development.
Don't tell me I just made another joke that you don't get, Kyle.
I never saw Arrested
I
Development.
haven't seen that episode. That's all.
No, the band Arrested Development.
I never listened to their albums.
See.
Lost.
Well, I think I'm a music nerd on par with the Neo Drop by this point.
Yeah. Hell, you're better than me. Like, I thought I was good in music, but nah.
All right. Ryan,
Children of Gaia.
Yes.
A collection of rejects, in my words. To quote, the children of Gaia came from all tribes. They believe the children of Gaia is one of the best hopes to unite all the Garou. Even though most find them weak, saying that their desire for peace is a flaw. On the other hand, calling them on the other hand, the Nuwisha call them fools and arrogant. That's something I found interesting. They sat there and praised them, and then at the end they're like, "Well, but they're fools and arrogant, and we'll teach them a lesson."
You had good ideas with the patient deed, but then you have the anointed ones who are just too busy smoking dope in their basements to actually do what they're talking about.
The anointed ones are like that one episode of South Park where Eric Cartman's like having a nightmare about hippies. Like,
oh God, I hate hippies. They talk about saving the planet, but all they do is smoke weed and smell bad.
You just open the door to their care, and like just like massive marijuana cloud just rolls out of it.
Basically, yes.
I can see that. So the Nuwisha would do exactly what Cartman did, and just show up to the music festivals and just spray them all.
Yeah, just blast Slayer.
Exactly.
Is there an orgy in this room? I can't tell because there's too much hair in this room.
You tell her there's a Nuwisha when somebody interrupts the circle jerk by starting a pissing contest.
There are 3 tribes in this section that have like a wall of text, and the 3 tribes are Fianna, Getafenris, and the Bastet. And I just want to say, I know the Nuwisha are jokesters, but they're taking the joke a little too far with the Fianna and their relationship. They find them wanting and calling of their heritage. Otherwise, spoiled brats, in my own words. Their emotions are all over the place. Whether it's they're singing and dancing, and or they're singing sad songs, or they're getting into a fight. They think that they can be as violent as the Getafenris, which is the biggest fucking joke I've ever heard. Let's see. As the Get feels that fighting the worm is more important. The Nuwisha feel that the fighting the worm is more important than screaming for an end to the British rule.
That's the Getafenris?
No, that's the Fianna.
No, that's the Fianna.
That's the Fianna. Okay.
Yeah, the Fianna. They're looking at the Fianna saying, "Oh, look at this gentleman over there who's painted blue with his belly hanging out. You think it's all funny to like jump up and down, paint yourself in your tribe's colors, act like a clown in the middle of combat? It's not. You look like a loser, Fianna. And you don't realize just how stupid you look.
You're cringe, Fianna. You're cringe."
I don't know. I do like the last part of this paragraph where it says, "On the other hand, they do know how to throw a party.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day is always fun."
I was just about to say that. Yeah, they do admire them because of their partying.
This is the running joke with the stereotypes where nobody takes the Fianna seriously.
To quote, that's the one day of the year I think the Fianna don't care about the veil. St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, Garou charging down the street with their fur dyed green. That is such a funny visual.
Everybody thinks it's a fursuit.
Yup. It's funny as shit. Just like these 7-foot tall monsters with like just kegs of beer.
We have the regularly scheduled St. Patrick's Day fur parade in Boston this morning.
Oh God. No.
Yes, and parties! Crack.
I did not want to picture a bunch of furries going down a street in green fursuits. Yay.
Oh, good lord.
Right. To get that out of my brain, we're going to move on to the Geta Fenris. The Geta Fenris believe they are strong, that they are the strongest, and that they must teach others how to be strong. They were way too eager to hunt other changing breeds during the War of Rage, and that they know that they are evil and racists. But they claim that they are strong in body and second to none in combat. But the trade-off is that they lack intelligence as well as acknowledging their own flaws.
Yep.
Sorry, I gotta take a drink.
It's all good.
Well, sounds like your standard opinion of the Geta Fenris.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Yep.
the get. They're really good at fighting, but then they don't look in the mirror.
Yep. Of the comic for you in the notes page.
Oh God!
Wait,
Why
hang
did I
on.
look?
In notes page, studio notes. Let's see. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Oh my
Ray,
good
shave yourself
lord!
here for the day.
I hate that. Don't.
I hate
No,
that
I'm getting
too.
rid of that. We don't need to see that.
And on that note, Shadow Lord. No, not Shadow Lords.
Glasswalkers.
Glasswalkers.
The glassworkers who send you shit like that.
Right.
What's the deal with glasswalkers? Are they actually walking on glass?
Yes. No, they live in cities and they fight the worm in not physical battles but political battles. Jesus Christ, my throat.
Still laughing over this shit.
I did not drink enough in preparation for this episode. Do I need to get the whiskey?
If only I could, but I work in about 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes?
Our
Good
ribs are hurting.
lord!
30 minutes. Jesus,
Well,
my guy.
I have to leave. I have to leave at around 11 o'clock. So sorry.
I
What do you
gotcha.
do for a living?
I work midnight shifts.
Yeah,
There
I've
you go.
been there.
Nice.
They're actually not that bad.
The Nuwisha say that many would sell their souls to get a good pension plan, and that some have. They think Glasswalkers. They think that the Glasswalkers think that they are special and adaptable, but they are wrong, according to Nuwisha. As they get closer to feeding on their mother's carcass. I couldn't understand what that sentence meant.
Pretty much the guy is dying. And the glassworkers, this is a pretty good indictment of the glassworkers, are more focused on money and technology instead of fighting for Gaia.
You know what? I would think that they would be more okay with it if more millionaires actually did good things with their money or funnier things with their money.
Yep.
Like if Elon Musk actually spent more money, like he did that whole tree donation like Mr. Beast was doing, but if he did that
exactly.
daily, yeah.
Exactly. Like if he did more like the flamethrower kind of thing, I think
The
they would
Boring
be
Company
more cool with
flamethrower
it.
was actually kind of fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Exactly.
So what they mean by feeding on Gaia's corpse, they mean the iron and copper ore in Gaia's body. That's the corpse that's being fed off of in order to make smartphones and cars.
I see. Lithium and all that.
And also oil.
Yes.
Oil, yeah. That is a huge one.
Black gold, Texas tea.
All right. Moving on to no, sorry.
Yeah. I mean they're not wrong about any of this.
But,
I mean this is pretty good criticism of glassworkers.
They also feel that they do dress well, at least.
Read the end of that paragraph real quick.
It used to belong to a glasswalker
No.
stockbroker.
Back a little
Yeah.
bit, like after the nice suits.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they do have nice suits and are lots of fun to mug. Oh yeah, I completely glossed over the mug part. I didn't even see that.
The end of that is fucking hysterical. Man,
Stole a man's car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a Ferrari automobile once. It used to belong to a glass stockbroker in New York. Now it belongs to a junkyard in Hackensack,
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Maybe I should have learned to drive before stealing it. Jesus Christ.
That's fucking awesome. It's like the scene of Fritz the cat with what's the name of the crow he befriends? Oh, with Duke.
Yeah, Duke.
And they steal a guy's car and wreck it off the
Only
bridge.
to drive it right off the Brooklyn Battering Tunnel bridge.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. The Red Talons.
My favorite.
They believe, or the Nuwisha in this case, they believe that they are lost in their hatred for humans, stating that the Nuwisha is better than them because they defer from killing humans when the humans started killing coyotes.
They probably don't even know sarcasm and what that is.
They really don't. They're very blunt.
Wolves don't believe in sarcasm.
The Shadow Lords, they hate thinking that they are second best to the Silver Fangs, while they treat other Garou as pawns. The Nuwisha feel that the real pawns are the Shadow Lords themselves, due to their perpetually wounded egos. And they prank them often by breaking into their house, staying for a couple days, and then marking their territories.
Yep.
The further we dive into this book, the more I love the Nuwisha.
Well, piss in your house and get away with it.
Hell yeah.
My talents.
Think.
Moving on.
Think.
Silent Striders, I think.
The Silent Striders.
Nuwisha feel that they have a lot of common with the Silent Striders, enough to consider them friends. But because they betrayed a trust once, they feel like they can no longer trust them again. According to
somebody didn't show up to the set fighting date that we planned. So I wanted to say, "Oh, I'm running late," and then just never showed up.
Me?
What? No,
no, the Nuwisha.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I didn't see you when we were fighting set either.
It's fine. I was there in the background.
Yep.
In spirit.
I was there in spirit.
The
Exactly.
Nuwisha were in North America when it happened.
How?
Yeah.
And there's only 100 of us in existence.
How many? Actually, yeah. How old is Grimm? Actually,
Which I forgot to mention actually in the global thing that there's only 100
That's a
Nuwisha.
good question.
Yeah.
Let me look.
Because there's actually only 100 of them in existence. So
yeah.
Yeah. Keep tabs on these guys.
All right. Moving on to the Silver Fangs while I look up how old Grimm is. Their insanity is a dangerous thing, stating that the most lethal Silver Fang is the one that seems the most sane, not sane.
Yes.
They say never trust one, and that they are more subtle than the Silent Striders, but just as deadly.
Where you're not wrong.
Nah.
Well, the Shadow Lords, not the Silent Striders.
Yeah. I mean, after all,
Was it Shadow Lords?
Yeah, it
the
says
Silver
Shadow Lords
Fangs.
in the book.
Shadow Lords. Yeah, the
They're
Shadow Lords. Yeah. It's like the whole I'm just Kim moment.
Shit.
Like, yeah,
That's-
you're
might be-
always looking over, saying I'm always playing number 2 to the Werewolf Nation, and it's not fair, and I need to be the leader. And you're just like, cry me a river, says the Nuwisha.
I thought they were talking about the Silver Fangs.
They
the
were,
Silver
but
Fangs.
they were
Yeah.
basically saying that they are subtler and more just as dangerous as the Shadow
Yeah.
Lords.
And the whole thing with them is that what they say about the Silver Fangs is that everyone is fucking crazy in the Silver Fangs, so you need to look out because these guys can't tell fantasy from reality anymore. They're that far gone as a tribe. So what you think is going to be a prank that they're going to learn from can, I don't know, completely fly in your face because, no, this guy's an idiot who thinks, that gaslighting prank I'm doing, he actually thinks there's spider people in his walls now, and now he's about to wage a war with the Anunnaki in the region. So
they're all crazy, and not in the funny way.
Be very careful what you do with the Silver Fangs, because, according to the Garou, they're the reason why the Garou were almost all killed and the War of Rage started. So try not to fuck with these guys.
I think you need to fuck with him more. Not gonna be honest.
Grim is 34, 35-ish.
I
gotcha.
I think next is Stargazers.
Yes.
Next is Stargazers. They share a passionate curiosity with the Stargazers. The claim that they are so into the star. They claim that they are so into the Stargazers, or into the stars, that they have seen Stargazers walk into trees. They claim that they're too smart for their own good. Sometimes the answer is just as simple than complex.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I've been waiting for all damn night for somebody to say that.
What?
Where, as we know with the Stargazers, what their big flaw is, like in game, is the Enigma obsession. Where if they don't get right the first time, they just obsess over it, to the point where it starts like ruining their lives.
Yep.
They do go into that in the relationships, stating that they're silly. Sadly, they have become accustomed to a certain level of complexity in the puzzles they find, and often miss the easiest solutions.
Or the whole, like, no shit, Sherlock, water's wet.
Yeah.
You didn't have to spend all day thinking about that.
I wonder if it blew their minds when a Nuwisha probably looked over to a Stargazer while he was looking at the stars and said, Coyote came from up there, and so did all the animals of the earth.
What? And then they proceed to spend the next 100 years just looking that up. Saying, we told you the answer. I mean, you don't have to spend all this time looking into it.
They just have to prove that it's true.
You gotta prove that's true. Like, you can't ever take your word. That's the thing with you Stargazers. You just can't take anybody at your words. That you can't accept that. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there knows more than you do.
Yeah, it's like
the best way to stop a Stargazer is just blow their mind.
Yeah. It's like seeing the video where you actually prove that 1 + 1 = 2.
Yes.
So,
but sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it equals fish.
It's quantum physics, apparently.
On to the Uktena. They smiled and danced, but forgot those ancient ritual dances and all that fun stuff when the Croatan fell. They say that in trying to fight the worm, they tend to fall into his traps and arrows.
Yes.
Yeah. They also say that many of the Uktena fall into the worm's embrace. That's another thing that they highlighted.
I mean, it's basic kind of common belief of the Uktena.
Yeah, to say that they cannot see the forest, the trees get in their way.
After all, they do have a pretty big issue with their cryptophilia, where they're so obsessed with like finding secrets that, once again, like very much like the issue with the glass workers, it gets in the way of the fight for Gaia. So while you're trying to figure out how to contact Cthulhu out in space, your friends are dying and you're too busy studying to actually see that happening.
Come on, Scarecrow, you had a brain this whole time, and you Tin Man with your heart.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a brain the whole time, but you won't act like you have half a brain instead.
Well, yeah, the other half's in space trying to contact an elder god.
Yeah.
Can you solve the apocalypse for us?
So the last one I have notes on before I start reading from the book itself. The Wendigo. Unlike Uktena, the Wendigo cannot forget Croatan's sacrifice. The Wendigo can hold a grudge for centuries and feel no pity for those who turn astray. They say that pain has blinded them, and they need to let loose and get laid, essentially.
They do, but they have to wait until marriage for it to happen first.
And they only marry with their own. So
with their own, because they hate anyone who isn't the same skin color as them.
There is an easy way to fix that. Just ask younger brother to Uktena. Or no, wait, Uktena was older brother.
Yeah. See, they're not going to take any shit from the Fianna anyway. They fucking hate the Fianna.
I know, but at the very least, I'm making sense now, aren't I? The Uktena already solved that. If you didn't fucking, you eventually turn the other people who you're fucking into you.
There's a very fun thing I'm looking forward to, Ryan. When we start playing Ridgecross Appalachia, I am very excited for all the shit I'm going to give you for your playing Aponar.
I'm not gonna lie. A thought had crossed my mind, and as I was reading this, I mean, I'll DM it to you later, but it's definitely something that I thought about.
Gotcha.
All I know is that Johnny is going to kill every single one of my NPCs, even the friendly ones that are trying to help.
As long as you don't say anything that could be taken as offensive, you'll be fine.
Oh no, she's going to kill Lance, and then you're going to be stuck with a shitty car for the entire game.
Well, I think the Wendigo are actually afraid to let go of their pain, and I think they're afraid that if they do stop being so stubborn and cold-hearted, that they'll have to eventually develop a personality.
See,
it might also be like the influence from Wendigo, like Wendigo being the tribal totem is affecting how they act.
That's true.
And
because
I think the Uktena would be like a little bit more open if Great Uktena wasn't the totem.
If it was just Sasquatch.
Yeah. And with the other fur breeds, Ryan, I can help you out with these.
If you want to take a Bastet.
That big damn cat wall. So they have like a very complicated relationship with the cats. The Coyote isn't a solitary animal like we thought they were. They hunt alone, but they do have like other packs of Coyotes that they come back to and hang around. The book says like the Nuwisha just can't stand to be around each other because they'll start playing prank wars on each other. And this is why you have no Nuwisha metis. It's because none of them want to fuck each other. But they say it's fine when we do it. It's not fine when the Bastet do it. Because for whatever reason, the Bastet are just incredibly prickly. And when they're not prickly, they're idiots. You have groups like the Bagheera and the Bubasti, who, through their own complacency and curiosity, end up screwing themselves over in the long run. Where now the Bagheera are just a joke, who try to be tricksters but can never be. And the Bubasti are now forever screwed to be stuck with house arrest within Egypt until they eventually die because they all breed with each other. And then you have the Surfang problem where they're all cousins and then proceed to die of inbreeding. Now, you have the Balam, who are very similar to the Wendigo in a lot of ways. They freak them the fuck out, and they hate anyone who's white. Unless you're Elmira, because she's a sweetheart. And in terms of the were-tigers, they say they're very similar to the Gaia Fenris, very violent, very deadly. They're referring to them as the Khans. And yeah, you got a reason to fear the Khans, because the Khans can beat a Gaia Fenris in a one-on-one. Not in a group fight, but in a one-on-one, the Khan always wins.
Debatable.
And then the Simba, yeah, you're like a shittier Surfang. You want to talk about being prideful and being honorable, and yet you genocided the Ajaba. So how noble can you really be? And then you have the Pumoka, who are just pretty much the laughingstock of the Pure Lands, where they have no accomplishments to their names, and they talk like they mean something. They have like their own like little slang with each other that sounds like gang speak from Cyberpunk, and they will never accomplish anything. They do also talk about the Kwami, where if the Nuwisha were all to die one day, the Kwami could make a decent substitute. Because the Kwami are tricksters that copy a lot of Nuwisha tactics. But the thing is, people like the Kwami because the Kwami never get like dangerous or challenging with their jokes.
Yep. And they also love catnip.
See,
I could see like the Nuwisha just like every time they're around the best dead, they just start singing like they just start humming. Right. I also have to leave in like 30 minutes, so.
It's all good.
Got
Okay,
it.
we are back
So-
in there to the Garou.
Alright, that kind of gets me like, should we do like gifts or rights at all? Because
I don't know,
Well,
we're kind of running low on time and all.
Guys, go right. Like I've already said my part, so like I can leave and you guys can continue. So.
I could not find rights for the life of me.
alright. Well, it looks like we're skipping gifts and rights in that case.
All right.
There's a section on
Alright.
festivals.
See, which is their moots, but like another name.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Garou.
The girl, snuggle buddies. You find a girl and you snuggle with it.
Yes.
I imagine these guys are pretty cuddly, but Garou don't ever get to touch them. The Nuwisha do, and you get to hold that over the heads of the Garou.
I don't know. The three that were in Rip Van Winkle seem friendly enough.
See, you also have the Koraks, who are materialist and snitches. They want to like them, but the Koraks are like double dealers who will just sell out their secrets to anybody. So
They
As
spoiled
much
the
as-
joke. It's supposed
Yeah,
to be a surprise.
it would be great to have them as allies, but they will spoil the joke if they are paid to do it. So no, we don't like the Nuwisha, we don't like the Koraks all that much, which is surprising.
first.
We found
It's a first.
The one naysayer towards the Koraks is the Nuwisha.
I don't know. In the book that I'm looking at, it says that the Were-Ravens are their brothers and the wisest of all the changeling breeds.
No, that's their totem actually.
Yeah. The Raven totem, absolutely, because it's the same thing. And after all, like, how much respect do Nuwisha really have for the Koraks? If their totem is masquerading as their totem and will sometimes, I don't know, trick a Koraks out of the worship of their own totem.
There also says, on the other hand, you can have hours of fun games with a little glitter and some glue near Korax's home. They can't resist anything shiny, which is really, really
Yeah.
funny.
Be stuck outside staring at my house all day. See, the Ratkin. Fuck the Ratkin. There's nothing good about them. They skulldug. They just have all these different underhanded tactics. Well, it's fine when the Nuwisha do it, but it's not okay when the Ratkin do it. And of course, the Ratkin are all fucking crazy and extremely violent to the point where it put the Red Talons off. So,
Yeah, our
very
jokes are
hard to teach a Ratkin anything.
Yeah, our jokes are cheeky and cute and funny, but their jokes just hurt.
Yes.
See, the Macaulay, they look at the Macaulay and say, it should have been you. It should be you that rules the Pharaoh breeds. We need the Dragon Kings back. But instead we're stuck with the Garou Nation. And they hope and pray that one day the Macaulay will be able to pull themselves back together and take leadership again. But more than likely that's not going to happen, so they'll just try the best they can to help the Macaulay, because the Macaulay really needs some mercy. The Naga. They know about the Naga. Although we should just know about them, their existence. So, behold, the masquerade has been breached with the were-snakes.
Oh, well.
Interesting.
And somehow
Well,
the
that's
Naga
not
have
good.
not killed that Nuwisha.
Nope. You failed to kill that Nuwisha, and then he told everyone about your existence.
Oh, well.
And you got mad about the Koraks for being snitches.
There's a lot of doublespeak with the Nuwisha.
Yeah, like these guys like little bitches, kind of sort of.
They're like Randall from Recess.
So yeah, what then they got? They are of course, the secret police, and I think they're clever. Well, how clever are you? Because we found out that you exist. They are really respectable assassins, so good on you for doing what you do. We're going to try to keep away from you because we feel like if we were to go up and talk to a group that wants to stay secret, you're going to try to kill us, and you're going to kill all of us because we know you exist. So, great. And until you show us that you have the Man in Black device, we're not going to approach you. The were sharks, the Rokia, they hate the were sharks, to my surprise.
Yep.
They say these are greedy bastards who are stuck in a civil war with themselves, where, thankfully, we did the Rokia episode first, so we got to talk about the Betweeners.
Yes.
And, yeah, you are right saying that the whole, Betweeners shtick needs to be dropped. Either the two need to find a compromise, but they say because of all the deep diving you do, you're going into the ocean where the worm dwells at strongest, and you get corrupted by doing that. And along with the Rokia, they just seem to have their heads up their asses. They're extremely xenophobic, don't seem to talk to anybody, including the Nuwisha. So, yeah, the Rokia kind of suck from their perspective, and they want nothing to do with them.
Having said that, though, I don't think they would actually say that to their face.
No, probably not.
No.
Although I would
say,
if you go to the in the section of Nuwisha in the Werewolf of the Apocalypse 20th edition, I like the stereotype of the Rokia from the perspective of the Nuwisha. Coyotes are friends, not food. And then when you go to
like them, they don't like the Nuwisha.
Yeah, and then the Rokia when you go look into the Rokia section, under the stereotypes of the Nuwisha, they're just like, I don't understand.
Yep. I do like the end of their description of the Rokia. It's like, for extra fun with Rokia, spill chum in the ocean, add lots of hot sauce. They make the funniest faces when they're in the middle of a feeding frenzy.
You also got the Ananasi, where they know about the Ananasi. They probably knew about the original intention behind the War of Rage. And to add insult to injury, they have open communication with the Ananasi. They have utmost respect for it, saying some of you serve the Weaver, some of you serve the Wild, some of you serve the Worm, but you're all preservers no matter what you do. And yeah, they're in severe need of unity, where the Ananasi are beginning to fall apart from their original intention of being the Weaver's special servants. And now they're all fighting each other, where the Nuwisha say if the Ananasi need help, they are going to go over and help the Ananasi. Where, dude, I don't think you realize what you just said.
I mean, we do have fucking Team Malice, so it's not that far fetched.
Yet. Also imagine with Coyote having the hots for Team Malice, how many Nuwisha are throwing themselves onto the Ananasi.
Yeah, it's probably not good, bro.
Yeah, totems affecting your brains. Vampires. They see no problem with vampires. They say, just let it be, just let it be, just let it walk around. They like to eat other people. And sometimes they do trickery just like us. They're talking about the Ravnos. And they say they do a lot of cloak and dagger. It's kind of funny, right? Just let the vampires do their thing. Just leave it alone. It's not a concern.
You should have been done that.
Yeah, because up to the point that they will allow anyone who understands their rules to play their games with them.
I know, kind of calling it the Shadow Lords for working with the Camarilla, aren't we?
I mean,
Yeah.
they just can't help it. I think that's what they're saying, that the vampires just can't help but play the political game. They just want somebody to join in.
I just wanted to bloody retire.
I mean, with the Ventru, you're compelled to do so. It has to be you who's in charge. Everyone else is going to get it wrong. And the mages. Weirdos who want to force their way of thinking onto everybody. Not a fan of mages of any guild, where it's funny that you want to talk about people forcing their worldviews on other people, and yet your entire shtick as a changing breed is that you play pranks on people to force your worldview and your sense of morality onto them.
It's not necessarily a worldview. It's more of here is a prank that highlights the error of your ways.
I'm beginning to see like their whole approach is very similar to like the Children of Gaia's own pompous arrogance of we know what we're talking about, you don't.
True.
And
that's why I like the Koraks better still, but the Nuwisha are very funny.
Yeah, because it's like it's kind of like Sours and Nuwisha for me a little bit. Reading the relationships because not a single tribe in Werewolf had anything nice to say about you. Even the Uktena who would take Coyote as their totem from time to time didn't have that high of an opinion of the Nuwisha, and maybe I'm beginning to think that opinion is deserved.
Maybe they don't want anyone to like them, because if they like them too much, then they would know more how they work.
It's a scene from Scarface where we're going, you need people like me. You'll need people to point at and say that's the bad guy.
Yep. Say goodnight to the bad guy.
I'm okay with being that
the
guy.
ghosts. Do not fuck with the ghost. Get away from the ghost. Don't interact with this. They say it's sad that you're so tied to your past life that you're stuck here. I can't do anything for you. I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
And the changelings, they say, you're weird. You're like weird and mystical to like the way where it's like too weird. It was fun for you being weird was fun, and then you made it weird. So we don't talk to changelings.
But they do laugh very nice.
And you want gifts, you want rights, guess what? Go read wormfo.com. That site's still up. That site's a very good werewolf resource.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, it
I
is.
think I think you should cover at least the ones the Nuwisha are known for, which are the ones for changing their appearance, because that's kind of what Many Faces does, and that's what Coyote does. They change their appearance.
Yeah, they have almost all of their gifts are laid around disguising, stealth, speed, or utility. That's what a lot of their stuff is.
And then there's Coyote's Howl.
Coyote's Howl.
Yeah, we can.
The level 6 gift.
We
which
can go over that real quick. Okay.
This is why I think that there is this is my conspiracy theory, but I think Coyote caused the deluge. And Coyote's Howl points out evidence to that.
Wait,
That's
is that in gifts or rights?
That's in gifts.
That's in gifts, and pretty much what that does at level 6 is that it destroys the world. That's what that does. Coyote has like a big nuclear button that will destroy the world at any time he wants to slam his hand down on it.
Yeah, hang on.
It says a small portion of Coyote's destruction power and I'm starting to think that Coyote is a more powerful spirit than what it lets on to be.
Oh yeah, because what this does, like what you're saying, like with the Great Deluge, you could be right about that, because that will start tornadoes and tidal waves when he uses that.
Yeah, should I go over that real quick?
We'll put up on the screen. It's page 53.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah. Zoom in on that. It's right next to the picture of like the knife.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, behold, Coyote's big nuclear button that he can slam his hand down at any time.
Yes. Here's this. Intelligence and occult at difficulty 5 with 5 Gnosis points spent.
Jesus.
That's an insanely easy roll. It's a lot of Gnosis, but it's not permanent Gnosis. That is 10 Gnosis.
2 successes. Oh, wait, no, that's something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, behold, if the Nuwisha player wants to end the Chronicle early, he can just like grind until he gets this gift and then use it.
Yes.
I mean, the game doesn't end at the end of the world. I mean, there's also the heavens.
You get to play Werewolf the Post-Apocalypse.
You get to rage across the heavens.
That'd be kind of sick, not gonna lie.
That is a complex book, and we'll get into it eventually.
Rage across the fuck, what is it called?
Across nothing.
No, the wasteland. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
All of a sudden, we're playing The Day After Tomorrow, the video game.
You also got Umbral Gateway, where behold, you're doing what the Dream Speaker's Mage did, and you just made a portal through the gauntlet that leads to a spirit realm. Which is that comic at the start of it, that's exactly what that is. Shadow Walk, which will just let you, jump right into the Dark Umbra with no consequence. Disappearing Act, which does exactly what you think it does. And the easy peasy one, I'm remembering what this gift is called, New Face. This is the one they use the most. Pretty much what this does with a manipulation and expression roll difficulty 6, 1 success needed, and only 1 gnosis to be spent, you can just completely change what you look like from head to toe, along with what you sound like.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's only level 2.
Doesn't Reinhardt have a gift like that?
Yes. So, behold, the whole mess of like the skin dancers and the skin changers, that's the Nuwisha doing that.
Yes.
Gonna scare the hell out of you.
I thought that was the skin dancers with what's his face.
Oh, that's we don't talk about the skin dancers on this channel.
we don't talk about Samuel Heights. No.
We don't talk about this dumb fucking idea to combine wraith, vampire, mage, and werewolf all into one book.
And I was expecting to have you guys come upon this very strange looking ashtray.
I mean, isn't it the whole point of why we mix splats is that book?
Exactly, right?
Not the way the skin changers do. Skin dancers do. I'll rant about that some other day, but let's combine splats.
Minotaur.
Yes, splat.
Was that? Yeah. Okay. Mixing splats.
The Minotaur was a fun idea, but vampire. Well, given that they say just leave the fucking vampires alone, you can see where we're going with this. Have that bite the Nuwisha in the ass for doing that.
Yes, or they happen across a Ravnos and have the fucking time of their lives.
Oh yeah, the Daredevil game, like constantly trying to one up the Ravnos.
Yeah, it's like that movie Nerve.
As long as the vampires can't step sideways, they could just push them into the Umbra and leave them if they ever get too violent.
Yeah.
After all, you do have the gates. Enjoy surviving in a space where, I don't know, a Bane can just fly up to you and possess you at any time.
Or the vampire could become the Bane over time, so that's probably a bad idea.
Yes.
Oopsie.
See, I finally found the rights page, Ryan, and in terms of rights, these are 1-for-1 just Garou rights.
Oh.
I mean, right of cleansing, open care, and dedication, and questing stones, those are all rights that the Garou already have.
Oh, okay. Where is this?
I went on Wormfell for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So behold, it's just like straight up Garou rights, and that's really all it is.
Is there no like? I was kind of expecting there to be like a right that would kind of represent the like they're howling, they're singing to Luna, you know.
I mean, they got the voice of Jackal.
And they do have like Sing Back the Dead, where behold, the fucking girl taught them how to raise the dead, but they didn't teach the Garou how to do it.
Well,
and they never told the Garou that we know that one.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me if I knew how to raise the dead. Do you know how to raise the dead? No.
No, don't kill me.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, the Nuwisha say they aren't fighters, so...
And speaking of that girl mixing, any Pharah game you run, I'm going to say it's quintessential for that game that you have at least one Nuwisha in it.
Yes. You need a party face.
Get somebody in that group to play Nuwisha. It's like having a cleric in a D&D game. Like you can't go a game without having a cleric.
Yes. As a cleric player myself, yes, that's absolutely true.
You pick the worst cleric, you pick the light cleric.
A life cleric.
See, you didn't want to pick the peace cleric and break the game.
Well, no, Twilight cleric breaks the game, which is why it's banned in most campaigns.
Next up, other werewolves. All the other werewolves tell the Nuwisha to go eat a dick. The only one that's willing to talk to them are the Actena, and even then, that's a tenuous relationship.
Yes.
I'd say if you're playing a game in like the Southwest region, like I think it's a good place to bring in the Nuwisha, just because it is kind of like where the Coyotes roam.
Oh yeah, if you're doing a Wild West game, a Nuwisha is going to appear at some point in that game.
Yeah, especially a Pan and Kokapelli.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of other stuff, Mage the Ascension, going down the traditions. Akashics, no, the Akashics don't like being told they're wrong. Celestial Chorus, yeah, they do have like the Nuwisha do have like a whole Brothers Keepers aspect to it, but at the same time they don't like the religious. So yeah, the Nuwisha are going to go into r/atheism and talk about how much religion sucks.
That's just rough.
Religion is simply slavery. I refuse to be a slave.
I hate those people so much.
Cult
Don't
of
drop
Ecstasy.
They'll draw pictures of Muhammad. Look, I drew a prophet.
Oh man.
The Cult of Ecstasy, I don't see it happening. The Nuwisha are pranksters, not drug dealers or dope smokers. So maybe once in a while, but they know they have a job to do instead of just hanging around smoking all day.
They would probably like try to fuck with their high just because they think it'd be really funny.
I think the only funny kind of drugs they'll play with are laxatives.
Crushed up laxatives and put it in the mix for a weed gummy.
Yeah.
Dream speakers, I don't think they'd like them, and I think the antenna's closeness to the dream speakers is why they won't like them. Getting back to Euthantos, the Order of Hermes, absolutely not. No.
No.
You talk to the Hermetics, you tell me why that won't work. The Sons of Ether, no. The Virtual Adepts, no.
No. Absolutely not.
The Verbena, absolutely not. But the Euthantos. Now, you remember that litany, the whole let fools die a fool's death?
The Euthantos is all about that.
Yeah, the Euthantos is the Adjustment Bureau, where if they don't think you're putting your life to good enough use, the Euthantos will mark you for death and will kill you with their magic.
Yep.
So, behold, the natural selection where try to count through history how many times their jobs have overlapped with each other.
Does this mean I could play the Shadow Wizard Money Gang as Euthanatos?
Yes.
Sick.
After all, that is the murder tradition whenever it comes to Mage Ascension.
Nuking is now legal worldwide.
As we said with Technocracy, they hate the Void Engineers. Why stop at the Void Engineers? How about you go after the Syndicate, who are paying pentex to destroy the rainforest? Or Iteration X, who keeps inventing all these polluting inventions, and then sell them off to pentex so it can pollute even more. Or, I don't know, the New World Order or the Progenitors. There's 5 unions to go after, not just the one.
Yeah, but the one is treading on their turf, so to speak. Especially that of Ta.
So I actually have to get going, but
all right.
I guess you guys are kind of reaching the end of the thing.
You watch this episode after we post it, so you can check out the last 5 minutes of what we talk about.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Get out of here, Dan.
All right.
All
good
right.
night.
See you guys later. Thanks.
Man. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye.
The Nefandi.
No.
Given the Satanist mages.
No. Absolutely not.
If they did like the Celestial Chorus, what makes you think they'd like the Nefandi?
I mean, the thing is, like you said, they'd go on r/atheism and do a little bit of trolling. That would go vice versa with the Nefandi as well. It's like they would be, completely agnostic at that sort of thing.
They have the ex-Muslim subreddit, where they also have like an ex-Satanism.
Oh, good lord. I listened to a lot of Marilyn Manson when I was in high school. Like, even Alice Cooper, asked Marilyn Manson's like, you sure you want Satan as your buddy, dude? That's a true
And-
quote from him. Like Alice Cooper, would tell fucking Marilyn Manson about Jesus, because Alice Cooper was a Christian. He still is.
Look at his music, and his the stacks. Yeah, it's a little bit surprising.
Well, yeah, but music doesn't make well, the music isn't about faith.
And looking at what else we've got, Marauders. You want to play a prank on a mage whose perception of reality warps reality?
I mean, maybe not
Yes.
play a prank on them, but getting them to work together would be hysterical.
You have the Nuwisha filming each other, telling them, go ahead, prank the Marauder, do it for the TikTok clip.
Yes. Do it
Do
for
the
mine, bro.
lulz.
Wraith the Oblivion. Well, given that Nuwisha want nothing to do with Wraith, there's very little mixing we can actually do.
Yes.
Would be interesting if you had like a Legion of Paupers Wraith, who died from a prank a Nuwisha played on him, and then his investigation led him to the Nuwisha, who accidentally killed him in that car crash prank.
Yeah, and then the Nuwisha has to pompously justify why that car crash was hilarious.
Your death was actually a good thing.
Yes. They really are fucking journos, aren't they?
You see why the Garou don't like these guys, right?
Yes.
No. For the life of me, I can't.
And who am I thinking of with changing the dreaming? Going along the lines of the kits. Boggins, thank you for pissing in my cookie batter. Now I can't serve these to the kids.
You ruined my cookies.
The issue, I'm sure the issue would have tons of stories to tell about the meeting the Nuwisha, but actually sitting down and talking to a Nuwisha, they wouldn't want to do.
No, probably not.
The Knockers, given that the Nuwisha are very slow to technology, no, they would not like the Knockers.
No. In fact, they would actively work to sabotage the Knockers.
See, the Satyrs. Given that Kokopelli is their totem, Big Dick totem, Big Dick Kif.
Yes.
Yeah, we have enough time for one lay.
Jesus.
See, we could like play like the whole like you could play like the penis measuring trick and like have a fake like prosthetic penis and make the satyr think that his is smaller than mine.
Someone start playing the song "Since I've Been Loving You" by Led Zeppelin in the background.
See, the she. They bring up in that changing section that they don't like the changelings for going to war with each other. You have the she to directly blame for that.
But
so,
then they're the most need of a prank out of all of them, then.
I guess so. The Puka.
Yes.
Well,
They'd
made
be
a prank war begin.
They'd be the best fucking friends.
Be the best friends that no, they would be like mortal frenemies with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Constantly trying to one up each other with the different pranks they play on each other. Because the minute a Puka finds out that you're a Nuwisha and what the Nuwisha are, it is on, and it's staying on until one of them dies.
That would be a really funny like side quest in of itself.
Prank,
To see,
prank the Puka.
Yeah, prank the Puka. Yep, that'll be that's a fun little idea for you to put in your Pharaoh Breed games.
Yes.
Now I know I'm forgetting Kith. Let me pull up the actual list of it. Let me look down the line.
Red Caps.
Red Caps. Don't even think about it.
No, a Red Cap will just fucking decapitate you. Slua.
You're gonna have Denny Grand Slam pull back the baseball bat and swing it at the back of your head while you're turned around.
Yep. Basically, it was like,
Hey, that was funny. You know what else is funny?
Do the whole like go to horny jail, but it's played realistically.
basically, yes. I mean, the Nuwisha, from what the book says, especially if they follow Kokopelli, are very horny.
See. The Slua in question, I'm sure the Slua, instead of actually laughing, would go, "Well, that's cool. Got someone else making fun of me. I guess I'll just go over by myself now."
Yeah, that'd just be sad.
Yeah. That the Slua are very melancholic. It's hard to get these guys to smile.
Yep.
And the trolls, the troll would actually like take the lesson the way they
The way it's
Nuwisha would
intended.
Yeah, because the trolls are all about honor, 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 and it's almost like Bushido code with the trolls. So that's the one good Kith you can have interaction with that would be positive 100%. Is the trolls are like deeper people than they're given credit for.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Hunter the Reckoning. You were going to be sweating when you're around the hunters.
Yeah, basically, that is going to be the most stressful fucking espionage you'll ever do.
And if a single hunter has spent into vision and knows he is supposed to be hunting for a changing breed, the Veil's not going to protect you. He can identify that you're a Nuwisha. Get out of there.
Yep. It's like, hey, you've been acting kind of strange lately. Get out of there, stalker!
And Demon the Fallen. Let's combine Nuwisha with demons. So, Faustians. What do they have that the Nuwisha don't?
Something.
Pride.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Respect.
Yeah, right.
So
Respect
imagine
the
Nuwisha going with the devil deal with the Faustians, and then because they're pranksters, doing everything they can to find a loophole in that fine print contract they just signed.
Yes. And then, the Faustian would come away a smarter and wiser and much more devious demon than before.
But we're at the most horrible contract we can imagine. But I'm imagining something like the Devil and Daniel Webster when it comes to that. Where the minute the Faustian drags the Nuwisha back and puts him on trial for breaking the contract, the Nuwisha lawyers their way out of it.
Yep.
And wins.
Just Phoenix Wright the Nuwisha, but in hell.
After all, you remember like D&D, we had Belial and the Court of Felgathos.
Yes.
We never actually got to see it because you actually stuck with the terms of your contract. And
wait. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Thanks to cloning, we can find loopholes.
Yes, thank you very much, Misfortune. You saved my life.
Next up, the Cryptics. Everything that they don't like about the Actina, that is the Cryptics. In fact, I think it's the Cryptics who are corrupting the Actina and making them impossible to talk to. So, yes, call an exorcist when the minute you mean a Cryptic.
Yes.
The Reconcilers. I think these are the guys who are the most in need of a Nuwisha prank, given that you could wrap around to a holier-than-thou kind of mindset with all, oh, God's definitely going to forgive me for this one, and then you think you're done, and then you need a Nuwisha to remind you, no, your penance isn't over. You got a lot more to do to redeem yourself. And...
yeah.
Who's next? The Ravengers. Impossible to talk to. Next group. The Luciferians.
Given that the Luciferians are very Weaverish, I don't imagine that it'd go over well.
Oh, no, they like the Nuwisha like the Weaver. They're perfectly fine with the Weaver.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, they'd probably like the Luciferians then.
The thing is, who do they want to be dominated by? Do they want to be under the Weaver's control or under Lucifer's control?
I mean, either way, they're getting the same result.
And depending on how you interpret Lucifer's plan, with it being a perfect human world, human might exclude the Nuwisha, and they might be purged under Lucifer's rule.
Yeah, that's the only major caveat there.
And of course, what if you had the Nuwisha try to prank the devil?
It's like the final level, I think, of Thief the Dark Project, I think, except you're stealing from him.
Yeah, you gotta go in with this. You have like the whole Jerry 1255. The devil is very sexually seductive.
Yeah.
How hot is the devil, Joe?
I don't know.
Hotter in hell, right?
That's true.
Jesus.
See,
Definitely.
no, we're not talking about a demon.
I watched Has
the
Been.
Big Daddy. So, behold, you got something like that where Nuwisha, use your imagination to think how you can get away with pranking Lucifer.
And that's Nuwisha in a nutshell.
Yeah.
How can you get away with this?
How can you get away with it?
That is your game mode you select when you play the Nuwisha.
So you went into this saying the Nuwisha are pretty based, and then you left with the impression of saying the Nuwisha are pretty much Twitter trolls.
They really are, but in a way they are. They have the capacity to be based. They just choose not to be.
Can we get the Guy Fawkes anonymous mask on the screen right now?
Yeah. Like, give me a sec.
Yeah. Can we get a V for Vendetta mask?
Guy. There we go. Guy Fawkes mask.
And there you go. There's the actual glyph for the Nuwisha.
Yep. They are anonymous.
All right. Ryan, do we have any thoughts on the Nuwisha?
They are great pranksters, and I kind of want to play one.
I'll make you a deal. We do a Farah game. You play the Nuwisha, I'll play the Korax.
I got you.
Bet.
There we go. And you'll be at each other's throats for the entire game.
And you know what? That is just fine. That is nothing new.
Yeah,
that's the running joke. It's what happened with our Rage Across New York game, and it's going to happen in Rage Across Russia.
Yeah, I think that's hysterical. It's like we're the best frenemies, me and Ryan.
Oh yeah. The only game that hasn't happened in is the vampire one that we played before.
But yeah, you played Sylvester and I played Colt, and they were both father figures, so they were like, we kind of got along in that one.
Yeah.
Like, we got along now, really well. If Sylvester were to be reintroduced somehow and Colt managed to escape Canada, then that would be that. It'd be like, oh fuck yeah, my buddy's back and he's still alive.
So alive, he managed to roll a perfect 10 in his fight with Malkav to escape.
Yep.
Yeah. And you might be asking, what's our next episode? Kyle is currently in the middle of independent contractor hell.
What do you mean?
You're dealing with hook and crook painting contractors who can't keep their word worth a damn. Big surprise.
Oh no! Well, I volunteered to help a friend, but their contractors is the one having the issue. So more than likely, it's gonna be a minute until I get that call.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 2 months down the road.
More than likely, but by that point, at least it'll be warm.
And for our next episode, whether or not Kyle is there, we are doing Clan Assamite next by request.
I do really want to be there for that because I love the Assamites.
Put the ass in Assamite.
I just think they're cool.
You can't touch the ass, that's haram.
They're vampire assassins. That's just fucking tight.
They're assassins and religious zealots at the same time.
They are the TX of vampires. From Terminator 3. They are a Terminator built to kill other Terminators. I love that trope.
And we'll also be having another guest for the episode because Repred has asked me to be a part of that episode.
Sick.
Nice.
So you get to meet this guy again. And we'll talk about the Bloodbenders. We're going to talk about the Bloodbenders.
Hell yeah. Well.
All right.
Good night,
And
everybody.
we got a video to fix too, so this isn't going up until like Monday night.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah. It's gonna take me a minute. I
Alright.
gotta find where that tool was, but I'll get it fixed.
Alright, you fucking tool losing your tools.
Well, no, I factory reset my computer a while back because like I had a bad sector on my old
What?
hard drive. You remember
You got a virus
that was the reason.
34.pahil.
What?
You got a virus you're gonna rule 34 pahil.
No, shut the hell up. Okay. All right,
It makes sense.
That's gonna tear it for this episode. So
Have a good night, guys.
good night, everybody.
GN.